What's up, fam? It's your boy, GRC. I shouldn't even come off like that because we're talking about serious ass shit today. It's not. I got to be a little more serious. Yeah, dude, Wendy's. Oh, shit, we were just talking about Wendy's behind the scenes. I thought that was live. Wendy's. Send your love and your prayers to Wendy's for Tendies. His colon had a rupture, I believe, and he's actually getting a morphine drip of some sort right now, so he's a little loosey-goosey. So make sure you send him poop emojis on Twitter. Send him poop emojis on Twitter as soon as possible, guys. Hex and the Chill Girl, great to see you as always, you beautiful, wonderful mother. She's a great person, and she's very nice. Guys, today we're talking about T-shares and HEX and why, if you don't know about these things right now, you're behind. You're behind because right now, as far as Pulse Chain and everything that's happening, it's very distracting, and it's easy for new people to just not know what T-shares are at all and just skip that part because they're excited about something new, which is totally cool. But I'm telling you, guys, the ones that really want to be rich long-term, the ones that really want to have a piece of the pie, if you don't know what T-shares are, that's not, I just don't imagine that happening for you at this point. So, guys, this is going to be pretty detail-oriented. We're having a few guests on, and it's going to be a good time. It's your boy, GRC. Sam Stoltz getting his makeup on again. 5 minutes late today, and makeup was late too, so you know how that goes. But, guys, we're coming at you live every single day at 11 a.m. Today's episode is on T-shares, and anyone who has any links to funny memes, put them in the comments.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my HEX from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my HEX from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my HEX from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the HEX, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. HEX I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my HEX from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my HEX from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
What's up, guys?
We just listened.
It's working, by the way. So glad your internet's working. Let's give fingers to his internet. Give the good spirit fingers.
Oh my goodness! If you've been watching the show for the last month and a half, you know that I've had some issues with my internet. There is currently a wire that goes from the telephone pole around the edge of the property, all the way around several hundred feet, all the way around the property, and then goes up to my roof. It is laying on the ground. Anybody can walk on it, and the internet constantly is going down. They're going to be getting it fixed, supposedly.
Sorry about my messages. Sorry about my messages. I just clicked it over. I always forget to do that. But now,
hey, no worries. Chad was messaging in the chat, and he was like, "Oh man, these manic monologues." So I think we can call this the Manic Morning Crypto Show. That's what we should call this. The Manic Morning Monologue. The MMM.
The only reason I call it crypto in the morning is because it hits the algo the hardest.
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
Sorry, I mean, I was being. You're not allowed to be goofy. I'm the goofy guy.
Yeah.
It's funny when he's in a goofy mood and I'm in a serious mood because it's just like he's always kind of goofy, but I'm like, I get super goofy sometimes. And it's funny when you're in a little more playful mood and I'm like, let's get to business. It's just like a fun. I'm always used to being the playful one, and it's cool when someone else is just being goofy. Emojis.
This morning, these last 2 mornings, I've been like waking up like super early and not getting back to sleep, and it's fucking with my mind a little bit.
Tell me what that means to you. What is that? What are you saying right there? You're not sleeping enough?
Yeah, the last 2 nights I wake up like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like,
dude, I do the same thing. It's miserable. Do you get that negative feeling when you do it? You're like, man, I wish I slept 2 more hours.
Yeah, a little bit. This morning I took some modafinil, and I have some pre-workout in this glass, and I have some black tea in this glass, and I already had a black tea this morning.
So you're tired right now. Wow, I never see you not in an invincible mode. It's cool to see.
I was like,
there goes your internet, Sam. Give it 1 second. 1 second. All those unanswered HEX questions from yesterday, Molly. Yes, I'm going to go through and say hi to the chat real quick. Yeah, lots of unanswered questions. God, I look like a freaking nutcase right now. Imagine when I can get a haircut again. Pulse chain soon? Guys, pulse chain soon? I mean, I'm starting to lose options personally now. But when pulse chain comes out, I'll cut my hair, look like an absolute unit. Still look like a unit. What's up, everybody? How is everyone doing? Define super early. 2 or 3 a.m. would be super early. David? I wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, sir.
Fuck.
No, I can. But just give it a second.
Keeps breaking up. That is unfortunate. Yesterday, we had can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me in the comments? Yesterday, we had a live stream with GRC was on, I was on, my buddy was on, and my other buddy, Motley, was on there. And my internet was so bad that I had to tune out the entire thing. I couldn't listen to any of it.
Audio is brutal. Yeah, your audio is a little brutal. Make sure you're just being very. I know, Sam. It's very frustrating. It is very frustrating.
I'm gonna.
You do sound good. You do sound good right now. No, you sound fine. Just keep it for a second.
Okay. This is
all right. So I want to. So Sam, what are we talking about today? I mean, we haven't even talked about this man, Sam, but he knows enough about all this shit at this point where it's just like I know he can understand what we're trying to say. Sam, we're talking about T-shares. Why is that important to you? What do you think the misconceptions to the average random person about T-shares is, or like a new crypto user? And how do you see T-shares since you're someone who's new, who has not acquired that many T-shares, admittedly, because you're brand new. You're still learning. He's still in the learning phase as far as speculation. He wants to learn before he invests all his fucking money, clearly.
Well, we're going to be talking about T-shares. The current graph for the T-shares in USD terms is like this kind of on the HEX site. Or if you just go like this, it's kind of like it goes up a little bit and then starts to peak and comes down. Just like that. We're going to be talking about T-shares. I don't know. Yes, I do need a new mic, par excellence. I don't know if I fully
bring you a mic when I come down there. I have an extra.
When I think of T-shares, so I know what they represent as the inflation, right? So if you have T-shares or any proportion of a T-share, it's just the inflation.
To buy T-shares,
and that's a good way to think about it.
No, that's exactly how I think about it. I say, I know that's not the technical definition, true, but I spend my HEX in order to buy a T-share.
Question on the T-shares.
Rate of HEX per day.
So there's 2 portions, right? T-shares go up, not in terms of the HEX per T-share, but like the quantity of T-shares increase the more people stake. That drive.
Yeah, the more people that stake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Is that okay? And then as they come, the number of T-shares comes down. as people end stake, right?
Well, I just think about, I don't think about it like that at all. That's personally how I think about it. I just think about it as the rate of hex per day needed to, yeah, if you look at the chart, the USD chart, that's what you're saying. You're talking about the USD chart. That's where you're going to get confused. You're not talking about the hex per day chart, because that's always ratcheting up. Anyway, we're inviting someone on here because Sam has trailer park internet. I'm mad at you now, Sam. I'm mad at you. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out for
Come on.
I'm kidding. Just give me a second. Hey, I got a new friend on here. A friend that my producer Bullish is just really enjoys this guy's work. But I think most of his work is in a different language. That's why I assume I haven't seen much of him, because his I don't speak any other languages. But he's recently becoming in, or I've noticed at least that he's been in the Twitter spaces recently, spitting absolute fuego all over the place, vomiting alpha everywhere. And it's just like, I was just like, Bullish, who is this guy? He's like, get him on the show. He's the man. So we're going to talk about T-shares with this guy, Crypto Profeta.
What's up? I'm still in the Christmas mode.
You're good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Thank you guys to give me this opportunity to come talk about T-shirt, HEX, Pulse Chain, everything you guys need, everything you guys want. I'm here to help and to drop some knowledge.
So I'm assuming for everyone who knows, let's go through it. You've been in the game for a minute, and you have a bit of a success story as far as some humble beginnings I've heard from Bullish and talking to him. And he said some incredible stuff about you changing your life around, getting a few $100s, turning it into something much larger than that, and maybe turning it into generational wealth for your family moving forward, rather than being stuck in the, you know what.
Yes, of course. I've been in HEX since 2019 December. I remember I saw Trevon James, one of the videos of Trevon James, and I was like, let me go check this guy out. And then I was following him, and he started posting videos about HEX, and he was talking about HEX back then. I was like, okay, I had like $100, and I just bought in the $100, and then like in January 2020, I bought $1,000 again, so it was like 0.401 something, 408, and I keep buying. I bought like what was approximately like 10 million or something like that. Staked them,
So
got the big bonus, lost them because I said this before. I staked it and won. It was like 5 hours before the ending stake. I ended, so I did not receive my big payday. So
can you hear me, Crypto?
unmute your mic.
Can you hear me or no?
Yes, Sam, you are good to go. Yes, that is. A lot of people don't know that about big payday. That's great to remind people that you got to make sure you end stake it on time, not right before, because in order for the function to work, you actually have to do it without the end stake penalty.
Exactly. I was like crazy. I was like, damn, I'm gonna end stake game out, and then
you got wrecked. That's so harsh.
I sent Rich a message and said, what happened? They said, yeah, go check it back again. I was like, huh? I went to check. Okay, now I know. I just ended like 5 hours before the normal ending stake.
So you were already in crypto then, because if you were ready to go when you learned about it, then that means you already had an understanding of crypto.
I was way back 2011. I heard about Bitcoin back in 2008-9, and wow. I bought in 2011 on Madcox. Lost like 50 Bitcoins back then because they hacked the website, so I couldn't get back my. That's why today I don't have my money on exchanges. So now you guys know the reason why I don't mess with exchanges. And lost my 50 Bitcoins back then. Was heartbreaking for me, of course, because yes. But at the end, I was like, nah, I could have sold it way before, So
but that's how you learn, right? You're only in the position that you're in because you took these L's to the face and you just kept going. You kept saying, you said, I want it again. I want to see what's going on. Because most people, Sam, when they take their first big L, they never come back.
I didn't give up. That's the main thing. I kept pushing, and that's the same thing with HEX. When I I did early end stake. Was not even early end stake. Was just like I ended before the time period of the big payday. I was like, damn. So what now? I went to buy back all the big payday that I lost. I went to buy it back. Like actually keep on buying, keep on buying, keep on buying and staking. And when we hit the 50 cent, like 45 cent, 54 cent, was it something like that? I was like, damn, I had still 10 million hex in staking. So what I want to do some early end stake. But I remember I had another wallet with hex in it. So I went back to my computer, my old computer, searches. I found the keys of my wallet. Went back. I was like, damn, I don't have to end
So
stake it.
you had those keys saved digitally on your computer?
Yeah, in my old computer, because I have like an old computer that I don't use it like connected to internet. So that's my
it's not.
computer. It's not connected to internet. No. So it's like that's where I have all my other wallets and stuff like that back then, And but the reason why I did that, because I opened a lot of wallets for all my families. Right. So I was like, okay, now I'm buying hacks for my family. I opened it like 10, 20 wallets like that, bum, 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 bum. And from there on, bro, I was like, damn, I never do that again. So yeah,
Bradley
that's the main
Lincoln with
thing
the
there.
$5 super chat. This is for Sam's Internet. Bradley Lincoln, thank you. Every dollar counts when it comes to Sam's Internet. Every dollar counts. So, dude, your story. You've been in crypto since the big. I mean, you've seen everything at this point, right? You've been
But
sitting here watching it.
I took crypto seriously back in 2009, 2017.
So between 2011 and 2017, were you acquiring, or you were just not really doing much of it?
No, I just bought Bitcoin, lost it. I was like, damn, I'm not going back. And then something told me every time, go back, learn about it. I keep on learning. I was like, damn, this is something that nobody knows about. So when I talked to my mom about it, she was like, no, you're gonna lose your money. Other friends. And when I started to hear people talk bad about it, I was like, this is the time I have to buy it. So
And
it
you
was
also,
like,
did you start to realize, I don't know how old you were at that point, but did you start to realize that everyone was ill-informed and not willing to really look into things?
exactly, yeah. I was back then, what,
That was the moment
2017?
for me. Like the second that I realized, like they don't actually look into shit, because I
No,
was taught my whole life that everyone actually knew what they were doing. Like, and then I had to get out of that mindset, right? Talking to Sam, talking to other guys, like realizing, like, no, people just do this, and they never do this.
exactly. They don't do research. They just like start talking, without, because they listen, they heard somebody say something, and then they will copy the same thing back again, and then repeat it over and over again without having some knowledge or having some proof about it. So that made me like, I want to learn about it, because everybody is talking, but nobody's doing nothing about it.
I'm going to play a 2-minute video about HEX T-shares explained. I actually asked a few of my friends to watch this that aren't 100% certain what HEX or T-shares are. And I thought you'd be one of the perfect guys to come on because you're so open-minded. And I think that's one of the I don't need to know anything about your background to know from just I heard you talk 20, 30 minutes or so back and forth. He's open-minded. He's willing to hear, listen,
And
interpret,
learn.
and speak back.
Yeah,
And then,
exactly.
not just be like, okay, I'm coming into the room because I have a message. He's like, no, let's talk, and exactly what I'm saying, because successful people over the years, they learn how to communicate effectively. And that's when I noticed, I'm like, I didn't need to hear about your story, your wealth, anything. I said, he's been through it, because he's the way he speaks. People come in there hot and heavy, and I'm like, cool it down for a second. Everyone has a story and everyone's perspective. That's what Sam's actually been my life coach for 6 years. That's how we know each other. That he's only been in crypto for 50 days now.
Whoa.
Yes, dude, I'm telling you, this is absolutely a crazy show. I'm telling you, dude, he has no hex stuff. Like, he's new. I'm going to invite him back up in a second. Just going to make sure
Wow.
yeah,
50
dude. So like,
days?
but Sam is my life coach, and he's a genius. Like, he picks up concepts at such a rapid speed, and he delivers them all over the internet. So he's made hundreds of videos about
Wow.
PulseX, Pulse Chain. He made a video this morning about PancakeSwap, PulseX, and Uniswap, and how they all relate, and like compare and contrast. He's a machine. So I said, okay, I'm new too. I was day 521 HEX. So it's like it was 2 pennies when I bought in, and it shot up and went crazy, and I got all excited and started streaming all over the internet. You know how that goes. You get excited. But
Yeah,
then I was like,
exactly.
oh, there's a bigger story to tell here. I'm more of like a journalist, right? I just want to learn. I'm just like, I just want to know what the hell's going on. What is the truth here? And I found it, and I'm sticking here. I feel like I found it. And talking to guys like you just reassures me. I'm like, this is the place.
And that's the main thing about it, that you can sit down and learn stuff that you ever imagined to learn before, right? And you are open to listen and to contemplate those people that have that knowledge, and just sit down and relax and learn about it, you know.
Nardo for the win. Nardo for the win. $20 for fund me. Sam's new laptop. $10. Text Siren. Sam's internet. I'm gonna retire off Sam's internet issues. No, but guys, thank you so much. All of that money will go directly back into the show in every single way. And I am going to be moving in with Sam and teaching him all about because that's just something I've looked into a little bit more than him at the time. I got a bunch of shit and I learned about the technology of streaming, and it was fun. And I'm moving in with Sam. We're actually going to do video. We're going to vlog for fitness together as we do this show in the morning, educating everyone as Pulse Chain moves forward. So like, this is like a dense information show generally. Like, we like to break apart concepts and get into it. Like, we don't like to fluffy what's going on with Rackham Mitchell and GoFunding Jim. I don't care about none of that stuff. I want people to understand this shit. T-shares. Why do they need to get in before the fork? Why you need to be really open-minded when you're learning some of these concepts. And even when guys are telling you stuff, you got to double it back and ask your buddies, ask your friends, guys like you. Because, you know, some people will tell you to stake all your shit 5555, and then you have no money, and then it's like you need to sacrifices and stuff. So that's another thing, right? Like,
That's one of those things that happens to me, right? In the beginning of HEX, I didn't even have the experience. I just was like, okay, this is some new stuff. I'm gonna buy it, right? I didn't have the knowledge, information, until I saw the video when Richard was on, I think it was Malaga, something like that. He had the conference and he was talking about HEX, and nobody in the audience was like applauding and nothing. And from that moment on, I was like, something big is gonna happen here, you know. And then from that moment on, I was like, whoa, this guy just made something that for a lot of people is unknown, right? And from that moment, I was like, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna learn about it. So back then, the only person we had back then to talk about HEX was Hexologist, and who else? And Richard.
there was a couple guys, but you know, they were, you know, I know early on, you know, Dollar Cost Crypto was making some videos, like Motley Investor was talking about stuff, Wendy's for Tendies, but like, again, it was so new that it's like, it's just such a sub unit of the internet.
Yeah,
That it was
exactly.
like hard to even quantify, really, because the buy wall to even know about Crypto One is kind of hard. Not hard, but just unusual, I guess. And then to find HEX, the most sophisticated staking protocol within the crypto system.
What is the difference? What's the difference in terms of, right? Because I heard that you have like a Spanish speaking channel on YouTube. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
What's the difference in terms of like the English, like in terms of how you actually notice people being receptive to it, people understanding it, and just like Spanish speaking people or English speaking people? What does it say? Buy another coffee.
Let me read it. For Primal, Stolt buying another coffee in Starbucks so they can allow you to keep using the internet. $5 for Sam to buy that second round of coffee so we can stream from Starbucks. No, but in all reality, near the beach where he lives, it's just cash can internet.
It's crazy, man. This is hilarious.
He lives in an area where there's not many cell towers, I'm sure.
You know what is also awesome is this like unitard thing that you have on with the bunny ears on it, man. That's awesome.
I don't know if that would be a unitard or a onesie, Sam. That would be a onesie.
It's a onesie, man. It's a onesie.
Unitard is a ballerina dress.
It's like a onesie right now. Like, you know, like my onesie.
Oh, no. That was the word I was looking for. But go ahead.
You got wrecked again, Sam.
The difference between the Latin American, the Latin American community and the English community, you have to have this in mind. The place where I'm making video from is way different, right? So the algorithm that YouTube has to post stuff about me is different. Right, I'm all the way in Holland, all the way in Netherlands. So the algorithm is different, right? I have to change my VPN to US so I can get all the content from the US, so I can find some video. That's how I found, Ron James back then when I was using that. So I had to have also that knowledge of computer knowledge, that I have to switch my VPN and stuff like that to have the ability to find people like a lot of
Another firewall.
Mexicans.
That's another firewall to get to Hex. You know what I mean? Like you had to switch your whole internet security situation, which you didn't know about at some point. I'm sure you had to learn as you went. You said, wow, I got to do this. And then this is where the dense information is. I got to send my VPN there. It's like I'm telling guys that we're so early. Like they have no idea how early we are. They're censoring people in the community just we're not even in exchanges yet. Like what?
Even back then, it wasn't like that. I remember the first time I was using Silk Road. I had my first product, selling my first product on Silk Road. I don't know if you guys know Silk Road. It was So I was selling Bitcoin ebook because I was doing arbitraging between peer-to-peer people. So local people selling
don't get into
Bitcoin.
arbitrage. Sam will be here all day long.
No, but this arbitrage was different.
Don't say the trigger word. Don't trigger him.
So you were talking about arbitrage. Can you explain that for me?
I was doing this peer-to-peer, selling Bitcoin to local people. And back then I had to use a Tor internet to go to the deep web and blah, 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 all the kind of stuff. So to navigate my way around, because I have a background history of IT, right? So I was preparing computing and stuff like that, doing some programming, PHP back then, and HTML, all the kind of stuff. So I have my background in IT, and when I came back to this time, from 2017 to 2020 was very difficult. I had to change my IP. Otherwise, I couldn't have all the information.
Very difficult in terms of which way? Were you working a job during that time period?
Yeah,
or very difficult getting into crypto, or both?
No. Because I was already in crypto, but I mean, like seriously, I started doing crypto like 2017, focusing on doing research, right? How does the cycle works? And how to research the community. Back then we were using Reddit. I remember myself, Reddit for Hexicans. We were using Reddit.
Twitter was not like back then, wasn't it? That was like one of the first. It's kind of it doesn't work anymore like it used to, but that was one of the first like open forums that people were joining, that were kind of finding each other.
Yeah,
if that's what you're kind of saying, like it's because I know if you watch Richard's streams back then, and I watched all of them, he seems he was fond of Reddit. That was something everyone was fond of at some time, along with Discord.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about Discord. Do you have any knowledge of Discord?
No, actually not, because somebody told me about it, so I can start something on Discord, like community and making videos for other people so they can learn about it. But I don't have. I go in it because some groups, but it's very annoying when you step in and then all their notification be bling 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 all the time.
So you said it was difficult. So when you said it was difficult, what did you mean by it was difficult? And you referenced something with the internet.
We didn't have to. There was not a lot of content back then.
So when you say difficult, you mean like you couldn't find information?
No. It's like Motley was trying to figure out what T-shares were with his two buddies from the website description of it, and they were all like, "What the fuck is this?" Ooh,
exactly.
They were like, "What is this stuff?" They were looking at the website. They saw Richard Hart's stuff. There was no triangular data yet, so like nobody else had information on it that was projecting it yet because it was so new. And all these guys didn't even know what T-shares were yet, and they had T-shares because they were learning the system. Remember, Sam, we're 840 days in. To HEX. Like this is brand freaking new. 840 days ago, these guys were like with their hands over their head like, what is this S? We got to make sure it's not a scam. We got to dig in here. We got to figure this shit out. Everyone's telling us Richard Hart's going to jail and he's a scam artist. We got to figure out right now what's going on, because how can we trust Richard? He at that point, he had no resume other than somebody who was very intelligent. He was just an intelligent man. But like when you come out with a new coin, Sam, you know how people get. Like, oh, whose money are you trying to steal? Like, what's going on? You know how it is, Sam.
Even though Sam, for me back then, I didn't even care anymore because I have lost so much money back then. Searching for the best coin and stuff like that. For me, it was like, I'm going into this project. I don't even care what's going to happen. So I had already that sense of careless. I didn't even care anymore.
So I'm going to answer this question real quick. Mark G, Bullish Ox, do you all know if you have to have all your ETH coin in the address that you sack from to receive a clone? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. If you have any of your Ethereum tokens or ERC20s on a wallet, on a decentralized wallet, not a centralized exchange, you will be receiving a copy on the Pulse chain when the snapshot occurs and mainnet launches.
But let them know that the dilution of ETH. If he's holding ETH, he may want to switch.
Yeah, like you're gonna we'll get into if he has ETH, he has ETH. He's not gonna dump it for if you're holding ETH, like you're holding ETH.
But
I hold a lot of ETH too.
But it's gonna be diluted.
Right,
yes,
definitely.
Yes.
It's going to be diluted to one.
It's the rate that you get your pulse will be
Mm-hmm.
way microscopic compared to a 1-to-1 copy. So I'm not going to get into all the rates right now, but just know if you have Ethereum in your wallet, you'll have enough to do transactions. That's the important part, guys. If you have Ethereum in your wallet, you will have enough pulse on the chain to do transactions, therefore engaging you with the system. Therefore, you can start before the bridge.
Exactly.
Et cetera.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm going to play a quick clip here. Sam, extrapolate any information from this clip that you'd like. It's T-Shares Explained in 2 minutes by Richard Hart. And we'll just kind of go off of that. For everyone new here, T-Shares originated with the guy named Michael in Chicago area, and OG programmer who found HEX after he suffered a stroke, discovered an external recompounding bug using XL. The people in this community and the knowledge that they have.
Does anybody even know what an external recompounding bug is?
No, other than Bob, no. I wouldn't even ask him. I don't even want to know.
Only XL.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know, Bob. That sounds really intelligent, though. You are definitely alpha male, smart dude, because all I know is that's awesome. That's awesome. Dude suffered a stroke, and then a freaking HEX came from all of this. When you really get into HEX, if you have any spiritual belief whatsoever, you do realize that it brings things together, and you see a lot of things lining up when you're in the HEX realm. Don't you? Do you guys notice that in your lives?
Yeah.
Things line up in HEX, and because it's divinely inspired in a way, because the synergy is so high in the hive mentality. Everybody working for the same common purpose, because we're so sick of people being robbed, and we've seen so much poverty, and we've seen so much destruction in the world, and we're just like, dude, if anything, my life, I'm going to take a stand for that, right?
Profeta, have you also noticed like that, where once you got into HEX, that you started to focus a lot more on self-improvement?
Actually, yes. I went back to see all the Richard Hart video about self-improvement and stuff like that, because for the first time in my life, I found that something has changed my life, like financially, right? Because I was already on the spiritual, way to, become a better of myself and stuff like that. But when I found that financial freedom, then everything started to line up. Like okay, I have a balance in my life. I was missing that financial freedom. Now I have it, So now those both things goes together, right? You have the spiritual, the financial, and now I'm working on my physical. So that's the third part.
You just came into the right podcast. I mean, the right live stream.
Listen, I was doing CrossFit back then in 2017, man.
Dude, let's get it.
Seriously, man. I was doing.
We'll help you, dude, for free. You never have.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Profeta, we have a contest. We're actually going to be putting together. We haven't ironed out all the details. Anybody who's listening, I actually
May
shut off
1st it starts. It starts May 1st.
I shut off the comments, so I won't be returning to the comments just to try to save as much bandwidth as possible for my internet. But
Smart.
we do have a contest starting on May 1st. So, Profet, if you want to get in on that, can you talk about that? Because in terms of the mindset, not the fitness side, but like there's a lot of people who are not that stage where they have that. It's like almost that missing piece of financial freedom, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm financially free. And can you talk about like the shift you went through from like where you were, and then you realized, like, holy shit, I don't ever have to work again, or like how did you go through that process? What was that like for you? Because everybody's hopefully going to go through that.
It was very difficult at the beginning because I was not prepared for it. Right?
In what way?
Mentally, I was not prepared to have this wealth that I have right now. I was always hustling. I was always fighting. I was always trying to make, hustle to make something out of myself until I start seeing my portfolio, right? And it was like a shock because I didn't have like my main goal was, okay, I want to be rich, right? I want to have that kind of money one day. Now I have it. And now what? So I didn't establish like a path for myself. Like what would happen if I have it? The next step will be, like helping people, work on
Did you fall into bad habits?
Yeah, man. I went
because a lot of talk about that.
I was very depressive. I think I also tweeted once I needed help because I was very depressive, because now I just stopped working, everything. I didn't have nothing to do less than make videos.
I know the feeling. I know that feeling, dude. When I don't have a stress response to do something, I have trouble being happy. Like literally, this is a product of being a stressed out youngster for whatever reason that is. For everyone else, it's different. I was very stressed out as a youngster, just automatic mental illness, kind of just drugs, could not get a grip. And now, like even now, dude, it's like my life is so amazing now that it's almost like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, it hurts me a little that I'm not fighting to survive in a way, if that makes sense. Like
because you grew so much through that process.
Like I grew so much spiritually, and now I'm just to the point where it's like, what does this all mean? Like when you're fighting so hard in the trenches, you don't think about what it means. You don't think about what is this. You're not like, oh man, my thoughts, God. You're just like, God damn it, I want it to not suck anymore. I just want it not to suck anymore. Like what it doesn't mean you're poor, rich, whatever. Some people get beat every day, then are rich. Some people are poor and they have a great life. It's like it's all about mental, right? Like the space that you grew up in and what the information you're being fed. And anyone that's from an area that's bad knows it's all baloney, malarkey, and you got to pull yourself out of it. And that's the hard part. Pulling yourself out of everyone telling you what is right and wrong. And you have to figure out that nobody knows except you, that you have to find that out for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when it starts.
I sat down with a couple of people that had a lot of money, and then I was asking them what does drive you, to keep on going in life. They were like, you know what? Put some goal,
They
some
said what?
goals.
Okay.
Yeah, to achieve, it's like you need to have some goal after that, because now you're like, okay, I don't have to work anymore, and now what?
And I still have to work. Dude, I'm telling you, it's worse than that for me too. It's like I have to work. I know I have to work. Like I got a lot of work to do to be financially free completely. But it's like more than that. It's like now that I found this, it's like, oh God, this exists. Like I've been thinking improperly so long in so many ways. And I'm like reprogramming myself because again, if anyone doesn't know me on here, I didn't have a computer until 2020. I was a manual worker and I just worked all the time. I had a secretary. She did all the computer shit. And I just worked. I worked. That's all I did. And then in 2020, I was like doing paid courses in 2019 and getting into Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin on my phone or something. And next thing you know, it shoots up to 57K. I see Richard Hart on there saying top is in. And I'm like, I'm switching all this shit to HEX. Next thing you know, my life's changed forever. I learned about T-shares. And within 3 months, my life is completely flipped on its head only because of the knowledge I have. Yes, I have investments and everything, But all that shit aside, none of that is realized, so it
It's
doesn't
different.
matter.
It's different. It's different. It's a different
It's like
ballgame.
it's all mental now. I'm like, I
Yeah.
found freedom, and now I can start living my life.
Because it started mentally first, right? Before you can play something in the real world, it starts with yourself. It starts first back spiritually, right? Something that has to occur before in the spiritual realm before they start revealing itself in the real world. So that's what's happening with me and back then. Not even what was last year, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it was last year. So I have a lot of Hexicans sending me message, bro. I hope you feel right. You have to set some goal for yourself. Go out to help people. And then from that moment, I was like, okay, I'm done. Build up my community. Have some free giveaway, some free stuff for people. Every month I have some free giveaway for people that are on my channel. So those things are keeping me moving, right? And then, of course, I'm gonna start my own project. The main goal is go back to my country to have people in my country, build up a school for kids, programming school for kids and stuff like that. So those things now are moving me to keep on moving every day in life, right? Because
I,
after you find that freedom, you need to find something else to back it up, to
I,
keep on pushing.
I know GFC wants to get into that video in a second, but I want to highlight your story because it's so powerful. And there's a lot of people who are not prepared for that. You said when you reached financial freedom, that you were depressed. Listen to Profeta's story, guys. Think about these things now. Start
I know
aligning and
it's gonna be me.
searching.
I know it's gonna be me, dude.
Start
I'm
now.
always
Start
doing
now,
that.
dude.
Yes, I have to. That's
Start
why I'm
establishing goals. Start establishing. Okay, what happened if I reach this goal? What I'm gonna do? Okay,
This is
now I have it. So so I was like, I wrote down after I came out of that's like semi depression. Was like what 3-4 months. I was like, now, okay, sit down. I wrote to myself, Steven, you came from far away, you came from nothing. You didn't have nothing. You was sleeping on the street. You were sleeping in garage and stuff like that. Now you have something in life. Now, okay, now go do something with it. Right? So people have to be prepared for this sudden wealth.
wow.
They are not prepared for it.
No,
And then when it hit,
and I know that.
it hit
I
hard.
love it. I love your
I'm
story,
super
dude. This is
aware. I'm
awesome.
super aware from talking to guys like Motley, talking to guys like Wendy's for hours and hours on end. They tell it to you straight. Like this isn't a game. When you get rich, that does not mean your life gets better. It means you better be fucking ready.
Well, you just have to
better
deal.
be ready.
You have to deal.
No, you
with
better
that.
be ready, because if you have depression now, put $10 million on top of that depression. And I promise you,
It doesn't solve the
promise
problem.
you. No, I know it'll make it worse.
Mhm.
Well, when
It'll
you
extrapolate the
have
issue.
money,
Because just like every dollar that you earn in this world, you have to level up accordingly to be able to adjust to it, right? Once you switch to another tax bracket, you have to figure out how the rules apply to that. It's all different. The way a pleb stakes and the way that a dude with $500 million stakes are going to be 100% different every single time. So you have to realize as you grow, you have to be able to understand the situations that come ahead. And that's why guys like Richard Hart, that's why the knowledge that Richard Hart gives out on the internet for free is the most valuable information on the internet, I believe, that is given for free.
The sci-fi books, bro. People need to go with that. I was reading one of the books talking about building something for yourself, right? And he was talking about Amazon, blah blah blah, And I started my own Amazon shop. I was like, bam, I'm gonna start my own Amazon shop. Bam, I'm gonna start my own Shopify. I'm gonna start doing a lot of stuff to occupy myself. But I was like, wait, is this really the thing I really want to do? So my main purpose in life is to help people, right? So how can I help people? And I was like, okay, sit down, listen to his podcast, all the podcasts he has in audio, and also all the live stream, and start learning, and also go back and do some research, because it's good to listen, right? But you also have to do some research for yourself, right? So you can compensate, what you are learning at that moment, right? So for me, I have to say it was crazy, man. I was like, I was emotionally, I was crying because I never
wow.
came to the point in my life that I was searching for this so bad for almost 10 years, bro. 10 years. I was searching for this, right? And I actually got it. And now I'm like,
what the fuck? What do I do now?
what I do now? Exactly. So
That's why
the
I'm
main
building
thing.
a team of people like me, Sam, Bullish, guys that I can actually trust. I have to build a team. I tell Sam all the time, I'm like, dude, if I don't have you guys moving forward, I might not be able to do it. Because it's that serious to me, because I've seen things like this all the way through before, other things in my life in different genres. And I know I can't do it alone. I've been so aware of that. And it's not just like the work, right? It's not like, oh, the typing and this, like, yeah, I could probably get away with doing it. But it's the emotional reliance on other people with different perspectives that you trust. And that's what brings people to the next level. That's what brings people, when I can trust Sam that he's not going to lie to me, that he's not going to tell me something that's his benefit and for the benefit, vice versa, like, you're rugged again. Sorry, Sam. But yeah, no, so I'm going to play this 2-minute thing on T-shares real quick, just to kind of transition while Sam gets his thing ready. And this is a very old clip. I want to play it, and I'm going to play it real quick.
HEX stakers as a class receive income from 3 things. Inflation, which is up to 3.69% of all of HEX. Okay. It's been minted, which right now is like 250 billion HEX currently. And we're halfway through the launch phase. So before big payday, maybe it's like 500 billion. Then after big payday, nobody knows when those will actually get minted because nobody's how long everyone's going to be staked. 2, their share of early end stakes and late end stakes. And that's it. That's it. That's all the profit to the staker class. Inflation and penalties. Their share of the early and late end stake penalties. Now, how are you going to divide up that profit? How are you going to divide up that income? How are you going to divide up that inflation and penalty share? You're going to divide it by the number of shares people got. It's that easy. If you're 10% of the shares, you get 10% of the stuff. If you're 20% of the shares, you get 20% of the stuff. And by stuff, I mean income, right? That's all it means, man. That's it. If you own 10% of the shares, you get 10% of the inflation and 10% of the penalty shares, right? Because the staker class gets half of the early end stake penalties and half of the late end stake penalties.
So I forgot that I don't get to hear any of those things when I play them, but I've seen that video many times.
Me too.
What was his main point in that video, as far as like his main point about the T-share? What's the sticking point for you as far as maybe a good way to get people to understand easily? And for anyone who's new, HEX is a cryptocurrency that a lot of us in this chat and my friend Crypto Profeta here really have learned a lot about and invested a lot of our time and money in. And with HEX, you purchase or you use your HEX to get T-shares, which is a unit of the pool. See, this is where I get too complicated and I feel like nobody's going to understand because I don't know the exact verbiage to use. It's like
T-shares. So just try whatever you think it is. If it's
and then correct me, Profeto.
Exactly.
Just correct me with what I'm wrong. When you buy T-shares, depending on how long and how big your bag is, you get a certain portion of the staking pool, of the T-share rewards, of the inflation rewards for the HEX system, which is only 10% of HEX holders are staking HEX. I mean, only 10% of the HEX tokens are staked. So that 3.69%.
That was back then. That was back then.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Still about. I think it's still about
8%. 8%, I think.
8%.
I think we did 9.6 yesterday or 2 days ago. We were looking at it with my buddy. That's the only reason I looked at that. It was around 9.6. But what is it like? So
I will make it. I will make it
Please.
easy for everybody. Like, listen. Okay, we are going back to what makes people comfortable. Is like, okay, you have Amazon stocks, right? But now you buy Amazon. So you buy Amazon, Amazon says to you, okay, we're gonna give you approximately, you can buy for $1, you can get like 50 coins. Make it easy because Amazon is more likely for people to understand it, right? But we have a mechanism that will make you much more money, right? So all those 10 people in the group will stake their money, right? And then they have to commit with the days that they will stake it. That's one. Well, they have to commit with the amount of days. Okay. After they commit the 10 days, like, let's take it for example, they took 10 days to commit, but one of those people want to get out early. They want to get their money fast because they want to invest in another project, right? So what's going to happen? The percentage of him going out of that of Amazon stocks, I'm gonna give every one of those people, I'm gonna give them a percentage of his holding. That's one just easy step, right? And that's not even from the inflation. That's only because the end staking, right? You want to go early out, so okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
Can you talk about the T share? For me, I feel like I have a relatively good understanding that it's just the inflation across the entire population of HEX, but it's just squeezed to stakers so that there's a lot of higher return. And all you're doing by purchasing a T share or a proportion of a T share or a, you know what I mean, whatever, however much you get,
shares. We just call it shares when you're explaining. It's easier. Just the share.
So when you purchase them, the shares, you are getting a percentage of the total pool of T shares. Now, two things on this. Can you talk about the how the ratcheting feature works so that the T share per HEX goes up over time, and then also let's that first, and then I want to talk about how they actually change.
Actually, I would like to do that in Spanish because in that area I have to, manage all my words together, to explain it very well, because in Spanish, I do it very easy for me. But I'm gonna try to do it in English.
We have somebody. If Bullish wants to hop on, he can translate. So
also one thing too about that is the way that I think about the share rate increasing is that the largest end stake, when an end stake is done, that end stake, the same amount of T shares cannot be restaked for the same amount of time to earn the same rate or higher than they did before. You always have to earn a worse rate when you end stake. So whatever the number of HEX you end stake, if you stake it again, it will automatically change the share rate to make it so you do not gain.
So is this is so say if there's a 10-day stake. So at the end of the 10-day stake, the price goes up for a 10-day stake in terms of T shares. If there's a 165-day,
well, no, because no, Sam, because not all stakes could change the T share rate. You know what I mean? Like if I restaked a small bag that I did, that's what I'm trying
to understand.
So it would have to be enough. It would calculate automatically if it was enough volume to restake, but all the smaller stakes wouldn't even come close to that ratio, even clicking over.
So like if you because
Motley said, "Bruh."
Motley was talking about this yesterday.
I know.
Motley was talking about this yesterday.
I always get under pressure when Motley comes in the chat and I'm talking about T shares because I'm like his student and I'm like his Padawan. I'm like, oh boy.
So he was talking about this yesterday, and he described this as the highest ROI, including your interest, your principal, any penalties on there, any end stake, any early end stake, right? The highest ROI during a period of time. So, but what does that mean? So if there's a 10-day period of time, is it just the people at the 10-day? That's the portion that I'm not clear on and that I wanted to actually talk about. Because I did hear what he said, but go ahead, Professor.
So the main thing is I'm trying to make it as much easy as possible. So you have a lot of people already staked it, right? And also you have a lot of people that want to end stake early, and you have the people that stake it after their staking already ended. So it will be like diluted. It will dilute that end stake that stake of that person. So it'll be like
Somebody who lost their seed phrases person.
no. It will be like someone that did a good accountant. So those shares, those coins also go spread separately for all those people
Yep.
around, right? So they're gonna take a percentage of that, like say 100,000 hex, and then distribute it to all those holders, all the stakers that are staked in the pool. So now, early ending stake does the same thing. Even though you have staked it for 150 days, 190 days, let's say you have 200 days staking and then you end it like 119 days early, right? So that means that they're going to take a percentage of that one and they're going to send it, divide it also to all those people back in the staking room.
What about like, so say for an example, so say it's today, right? It's today's the 19th of April, right? It's been, 900 days, whatever that number happens to be. So today, what is it looking at? So Motley said that it's looking at the highest ROI. So what does this mean? Does this mean that any of the end stakes that were from day 0 to say 900, if it was 900, if there was 67 stakes between 0 and 900 that took the duration, that length, out of those 67 that were coming due today, whatever one had the highest ROI, it brings that down a little bit to cause the T-share price to go up. Is that?
In a sense, it will make it like that, but there are more component
You got it.
that goes together with it. Right? It's not only that side of it, because you have those people that end and stake early, and the people that staked it like for today, right? So people that staked last week, putting all of them together, right? It doesn't count as a stake. That's what I was.
Oh, okay. So, So what you're saying is, if I did a stake 10 days ago and there was 67 other people who did a 900-day stake 900 days ago, right? So they're all coming due today or whatever. If I earned, because somebody did an end stake that gave me, even though it was only in there for 10 days, but it gave me a giant ROI. They're looking at, I'm assuming what Motley was talking about. It's looking at everybody across the board that ended today. And if, because of the end stakes, because of the penalties, if I had the highest ROI, even though it was only a 10-day stake, it would ratchet it up because of that. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, people will get that percentage of it because you're already in the stake, even though you have that amount of percentage of APYs. Let me put it like that, right? Let's take for an example. Today we have let's say, what is the T-shirt for today? Let me check the T-shirt. Can you put up the T-shirt?
I'm gonna let GRC pull it up. You're muted, dude. You gotta unmute, but because I don't want to ruin my internet.
No, you're good. I got it right here. All right. So right now, I did this last night, so it's all good. So last night, when I do my T-shares personally, guys, I like to make it even numbers because I'm a freaking OCD freak. So I hate when it's more like, if I do one T-share, I like it to be one T-share, half a T-share, 2 T-shares. That's just how I do it personally. Hold on. No. Hold on 1 sec. 1 second. All right. So let me pull this up again. Right. So to get one T-share right now, it's roughly 7,200 hex with the max multiplier. I think it was 7,100 last night. 7,150. And that'll get you one T-share right now, Sam. So for 7,000 hex, what's the price on 7,000 hex? We can go over to.
I'll pull it up real quick. 7,150 times what, 12 cents is 800.
So for $800, you can get roughly at this rate 6 hex per day for 15 years. So let's just do the 5. So once people realize the power of the T-share, because you need to have T-shares for lengths of time, right? Like, what's having one T-share for 1 day? That gives you 6 hex. But having one T-share for 15 years, that gives you 6 hex for 15 years. I'm just going to say 6 hex. I know that rate ratchets up.
and not counting the price of HEX going up.
Yeah,
It's
and that's just if the price stays the same of HEX. We're just talking about the interest earned in HEX right now. So you're getting 6 HEX per day. HEX, if you look at the all-time chart, went up 10,000x in 623 days. So the asset is what you're actually gaining in yield. Therefore, if you made $10,000 in yield in HEX, when the HEX price doubles, all of your yield will double as well. So
say
and not only that, also you will see that the amount of people that doing ending staking, the APY of the APY will also go up because people are getting out of the stake, right? So the amount of people getting out of the stake makes the APY higher, and the more people getting into the stake make the APY lower.
Real quick, guys. We got a special guest in the background.
Wendy.
For attendees under some absolutely unheard of circumstances is coming on to talk more about T-shares.
Like he doesn't stop.
How you doing? How are you feeling?
Tell us in your own words. We've talked all this baloney back and forth. You know how it goes when people start talking about T-shares. For the people that are new in here a little bit, can you just give us like one of those 2 or 3 sentences to kill it that you usually probably say because you say it so often?
I mean, the simplest way to say it is, it is inflation. We want to be clear that it's inflation, not interest, because, for multiple reasons. For one, regulations and stuff. For two, it's not halal. So like if you say interest, you're excluding Muslims because interest is not halal to them. So
can you explain that? That's actually the first time I've heard that. So it's interesting.
I'm not Muslim, so I can't go into it. But for whatever reason, I just know that like Muslims cannot receive interest. I think it has to do with loaning, like because so when you're getting interest, there's usually like loaning involved, and I think it's for that reason. But
okay, well let's keep going on that. We'll look into that.
Thank you.
But that's super interesting.
Yeah, but and then
go on.
But basically, like the way I like to say it is like your shares. Like so, if you just take T share out of it, they're shares, right? So whatever denomination you're talking about, B shares, M shares, the shares is your share of the inflation, right? Your share of the money, your share of the payouts, right? So they are deflationary in nature because of, like Motley was talking about yesterday, when the system recognizes the highest ROI, it'll ratchet the price up.
Wendy, sorry, can I interrupt you and ask you a question on that? Did you, I don't know if you were listening, so say on that example of, say there's 67 people who, or just any number that staked from 0 to 900 days. Today's 900 day, for example. I staked 10 days ago, but between 10 days,
take 10 days cannot affect the T-share rate.
But so what, I don't understand so you're taking a look at every single stake that is ending today, or every single stake that's in existence between 0 and today? Where are you looking at that?
So anytime a stake ends, the system looks and sees the ROI. If the ROI is the highest,
the ROI of all stakes, or the ROI of existing stakes that are about to, like what is it looking at?
The ROI only matters for stakes that are ending, because obviously, like if somebody staked day 1 for 15 years, they're going to have the highest ROI, right?
Yeah, that's locked in until the day they end stake. When they end stake, Sam, then
it ends. Then
you're lagging again, Sam. Sorry, Sam. Come back in a minute.
It checks the system, and if it's the highest ROI, it becomes the new, baseline, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam's trying to get into technically like what the system is inside of the HEX contract, which actually ratchets the rate. Like he's trying to find that exact moment when it occurs, and That's what he's trying to get his mind on. If I know anything about Sam. But I think that's like that we're digging really far into it again. Like this is important to do. It's like we're all just human beings, right? Like nobody, don't matter how much money you have, you just got a brain and you wake up and you think.
There's some good videos. So like the one, like when I'm onboarding somebody, I like to show them the highest ROI HEX video. Have you seen that one? It's got like I think like 6 views on YouTube.
Highest ROI.
Really, it's pretty well made. It's pretty simplistic.
It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. Does that sound right?
Yeah, play it. Put it up here.
Hey man, I really hope you're doing good. Are you okay?
I mean, I'm in pain and like,
no, I mean like did they make sure is your surgery over and stuff?
No, so they don't know if they're gonna do surgery yet. Gotta wait like 24 hours. So it's actually like a kind of crazy story. So like I was coming back from Puerto Rico just to get stuff and everything, and I was gonna go right back down. I was gonna see the fam for Easter and stuff, and I was, saving money, flying economy. That ain't happening again. I had this dude that was like 500 pounds sitting next to me, so I was like leaned over to the side, like he had me into the aisle, like I was all like pushed out into the aisle, like squished, and it was like a 3.5 hour flight, and I was like, oh hell no. Wow. So I was in the airport like 10 hours that day, and my back was killing me all day. And so the next day, Easter, I like wake up and my side is hurting, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's like, it's probably because that dude had me like hunched over on my side the whole time. Well, it started getting like worse and worse and worse, and then I was like even having like fever and chills and stuff. And I was like, oh man, maybe this is not related to that. Maybe I have like a kidney stone or something. So then my pain gets up to like an 8 out of 10. Like I can barely move at this point. I'm like barely able to walk. And so I go to the urgent care. They had me in there for 3 hours, something like that. It was crazy. And all she did was take a urine sample, and she should have done like some diagnostic test. So she misdiagnosed me. And she was like, okay, just, go home. You don't have an infection, which they didn't check my blood. They just checked my urine. And I was infected, which, if I just let it go, I could have gone septic. I mean, you can die from that.
Yeah.
So
no, I know that's.
Yeah. So I went.
You're weak, son. You're weak.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
We're actually. And nobody, like, you're smiling stuff with that amount of pain. That's crazy. But so they gave me like Toradol, and Toradol like help with a kidney stone, but it doesn't help when your like bowel is perforated. Right. Like, so I was like pretty fucked up, and I started having chills and like fever again at night, and I was like, man, I got to go to the ER. So I went to the ER, and then he
was like, I'm gonna see my maker if I don't fucking.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm fucking out of here.
The hospital. Yeah, you're getting admitted for sure. I was like, oh fuck no. I was not ready.
God, though, dude, because shit happens. I know people that have died from pancreatitis and they don't even know it happens because they're just like not sure what the pain is from. Maybe they worked out too hard. Like depending on what happened that day, sometimes people are like, oh, I worked out so hard the day before or something. Maybe that's why I'm hurting. And the next thing you know, but I'm gonna pull up a video before I get involved with everything real quick. It's a 3-minute video. I just want everyone to let Sam listen to it in the background. Sam, gather any questions you might have. I think these are really important conversations to have in front of the community because as we get more popularity towards Pulse and Pulse X and all that stuff, people don't really know, like, this is what a lot of us are focused on long term, right? Like, or, other stuff too, but like, this is what a lot of us, we've invested our 15 years into this, right? Like, we're going to be here talking about this stuff for a long time, in my opinion. I'm going to throw this up real quick.
Real quick before you do that, so I can answer Sam's question so he can ponder it in the background with his shitty internet. So he was asking about like, what is the contract looking at for the highest ROI in the system? He's like, is it looking all the way back? Is it looking from whatever? So the system's already been ratcheting up constantly since conception, right? So like it's been doing that every day. So every day we roll over at 00 UTC time. So any stakes that have ended from the past, like we're already ratcheted all the way up. So someone's realized the highest ROI in the system. So every 0 UTC time when we roll over, that's when the system's checking to see if any stakes ended actually received a higher ROI than what's already currently been logged.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that. I literally cut out the last 30 seconds. I'm gonna pull up the YouTube video and have to watch this. I was just trying to figure out if it's say 197 people are end staking today, because that's just when it happens to end stake, or people are actually doing the end stake today. That they're looking at those independent of the actual duration of the stake. Is that accurate?
Independent of the duration of the stake.
Doesn't matter. What matters is your ROI.
Correct. So it's completely independent of how long somebody staked.
But for that, the duration is what gives you the biggest bonuses. The next thing, you can get a max of 10% based on size. So you could have somebody with a shorter stake that has 150 million hex that they staked, and they could potentially, depends on how long it is, but they could out ROI somebody with less.
There's more to that, even what he's saying too, right, Sam? So back during the adoption, and this is why almost all the older stakes receive a higher ROI than a shorter stake, because even the original stakes back in like from day one to the end of the adoption amplifier, which was like 300 something days, you actually got an additional 20% if you made a stake early on during the adoption amplifier. And then that percentage kept going down all the way up into the last day, which was called Big Payday. So you not only do you get the longer gets paid better. If someone had a large stake close to 150 million, they could have maxed out the 10% extra. They could have also, if it was a day one stake, they could have gone an additional 20%, or let's say it was halfway through the adoption amplifier, like 150 something days, then they would have gone like an additional 10%. So that's why all these OG long stakes are almost always the ones that actually ratchet up the HEX T-share price, because they've realized the highest ROI in the system.
Yeah.
So say if somebody bought, if I bought a stake that lasted 2 days, right? I mean, if I bought a share, right, for 2 days stake, and then during that 2 day stake, it was, say that's $2,500, right, or something like that. During that time, somebody goes through an emergency end stake, and on those and they happen to do it on both of those days. So both of those days, instead of 6 hex, I get 18 hex and 18 hex. So I have 2,500, and I'm getting 18 and 18 on those days, which is going to increase my ROI. So my ROI could be towards the top of that, and that could still be utilized as a factor to ratchet up the.
It's still, if it was a 2 day stake, there's no way it's the highest ROI received in the entire system to date.
Under 40 hex, like.
Yeah, there's just too much action, and there's too much volume.
You're cutting out a little bit, Wendy's.
You're in and out. You're in and out, Wendy's.
Am I? If you have 40 shares and you're getting 18 hex, right? Like those are the guys that are going to ratchet up the share price, not the guy with 2 T shares.
Yeah.
But the actual, if you run the numbers, the guy with the lower numbers actually could have a higher ROI.
No.
What?
Yes.
No, because the more people,
Sam, yes.
No,
Wait, just do the math. Just do the math. You have a larger base, right? If you add
so you'd have the lowest ROI. You'd have the lowest ROI.
No.
Yes.
I mean, I could put together an example for you. Like if you have a denominator and you have a numerator, right? And if you have one is the denominator, right? The base of it is much bigger for somebody who has 45 T shares, right? So you're going to be adding a number to the top of it. So it's going to have a smaller influence than somebody else who has 1 T share, who also gets the emergency end stake because it just happens on one day.
What are you
so it can have a bigger impact on a smaller bet.
You're too smart right now. You need to shut up for 1 minute.
You're mixing up some. You're having some misconceptions.
Let's think for 1 second, guys. Everyone. I mean, there's just a lot of talk. It's hard to. Sam has an idea about what he's trying to say, and then there's a bunch of other things going on. Let's play this video. Everyone think about your questions. We're all going to come back to these questions. Let's play this video here. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up straight. And I am going to go smack myself in the face because I don't know what Sam's talking about anymore. And that's when I start freaking out. All righty.
The secret to gaining the highest ROI in HEX lies in a little-known mechanism called shares. When you stake your HEX, you receive shares. It's kind of like a guarantee. Your shares guarantee you back your principal, plus a percentage of interest and bonuses over time. The key to achieving the highest ROI in HEX is acquiring as many shares as you possibly can by staking early and staking long. The earlier you stake and the longer you stake, the higher your ROI will be. The brilliance of the share design is this. Every time a stake is ended anywhere in the world, those shares are effectively burned. They cease to exist. This means that every single day there are less and less shares to be had. This also means that every moment you wait to get in stake HEX, the share pool is dwindling. Now, why does that matter? HEX is programmed to pay out the highest interest and rewards to those who own the most shares. That's why it matters. Staking early is key, but it's not everything. How do you get the most shares? You stake longer than everyone else. The maximum length you can stake is 5,555 days, or 15.2 years. If you want to get into HEX early and become a whale, how do you do it? You stake today, right now, this very moment, and you stake for 5,555 days. As everyone else's stakes expire, you end up holding the largest bag of shares in the network. This guarantees you receive the largest percentage of interest and bonuses. Don't want to wait 15 years to realize your profit? The beauty of HEX is that it's designed to pay out perpetual passive income to its holders, just like a traditional banking CD. This is done by creating what we call a stake ladder. Imagine if you had 1 million HEX and you broke it up into 65,000 HEX stakes from year 1 to 15, setting a stake every year for 15 years. This is called a stake ladder, and there are many ways to design them to work best for you. Some hexers create a staking ladder that pays them every 2 years, some every quarter, and some every month. The idea is that on a semi-regular basis, you'll have fully mature stakes that you can cash out for the next 15 years, or even indefinitely. The smartest hexers have plans to only cash out the interest each period and restake their principal out for 15 more years. This allows them to earn passive income indefinitely from HEX. HEX is a vastly superior product to that of traditional banking time deposit accounts, and it's the purest form of decentralized finance. There is no company, no middlemen, and no gatekeepers in HEX. It's a triple audited autonomous product built on the blockchain that has 100% uptime. Welcome to the future.
Yes, I've seen that video before. That's a good video.
I think it's a
So
really
you still have the same question?
No, because what Wendy's was saying in terms of the T-share, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, because you got such a lower. If you look at like division, right? You got a lower.
We need to set a GoFundMe for him.
Sam has the most complicated question with the most worst internet in the history combined, which makes the question quantifiably impossible to understand for me personally. I know what the question is asking. He just wants to know that exact moment when the share rate ratchets up, right? He wants to know exactly, and he'll get that answer as we go. But Sam, your internet is starting to become a factor, just a factor. I don't want to come at you, but it's a factor. Okay. Hold on one sec. I was just digging that out real quick. Yeah, so as far as the T-share rate moving forward, and I also wanted to make this episode a little bit about why it's so important for people that maybe don't have a position whatsoever in any of this stuff that are watching, because surprisingly, a lot of my friends watch this show, and none of them have HEX, really, right? Like none of them really have any HEX. Maybe one or two of them does. So they're starting, like, I'm trying to make this just like a normal thing in my community. Like HEX is just normal, like normalize it as fuck. Like just make everyone know about it to the point where it's cool, because, you know, nobody wants to study. So what do you say to the people that, like, right now, if they have an opportunity to actually, if they're watching this, they know enough that they should be buying some sort of crypto. We have the Pulse chain coming up. having a fork of your T share is something that I just don't think is getting brought up enough. I mean, you're literally getting a copy of the most parabolic price action T share, whatever you call it. It's not interest. I don't want to say interest, the inflation rate, I guess. Whatever it is, it's the greatest crypto, most decentralized thing, earning the most yield that I've seen so far. And you're getting a free copy of it on a chain that probably will outperform the one that's already just dominated. And it's free. It's a freebie.
Yeah, just you know, I mean, I think that Hex on Pulse Chain is going to outperform, but why not have two money printers, right? Like more money printers is good, and even if the Ethereum version doesn't do well, like, you know, you still have the other version, so it's kind of a no-brainer. But, you know, like anytime that something's down like 80%, 70%, it's a good time to DCA in. So, you know, that's pretty much what I tell anybody I onboard. I'm like, you know, because, you know, like I literally onboarded like 2-3 nurses, the paramedics when I was in the ambulance, you know, and it's funny because like you hear
any cuties in the bunch, just from a fan's perspective. Any cuties?
I mean, I was in a lot of pain, man. I wasn't focusing on that, but
you weren't checking them out. Okay.
And,
Fair enough.
a couple of them were dudes, but and one doctor, but you know, like a lot of what a lot of them were saying was, so, you know, well, isn't it like really dangerous? Isn't it volatile? You know, so you kind of have to prepare people for that, because it is, right? And that's the one thing that helps with that is DCA, right? If you're just buying regularly and it's like a non-emotional thing, you say, hey, if its price is going down, you're buying on a sale. You know, if it's going up, you're still just, you know, averaging in. And if you're still working, there's no reason to stress about it, right? And I actually had one of the doctors that was like, oh, I'm into crypto. And I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, yeah, I trade, but I'm not good at it. And I was like, yeah, man,
got the perfect product for you, sir.
Most people aren't, right? And I was telling him, I'm like, man, I just collect my interest. Like, that's what I do. I don't have to stress about it, you know, like.
Oh, that's not halal, sir. That's it's yield.
Hmm?
Right? It's yield. It's yield. Come on,
Yeah,
sir.
I don't
You're not
collect
following
any.
your own
I've
advice.
never collected interest ever in my life, actually.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've only earned yield on inflation.
Well, you're correct, but I wasn't just referring to HEX.
Oh, true. Yeah, you've been in Ethereum for since, you know, early on.
Well,
as
yeah,
well.
I talk about like stablecoin farming and stuff too. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So guys,
All the
I have a small question. Because I've been doing some observation lately and noticing that a lot of people on the hex site, so the Ethereum hex, let's call it like that. And I noticed is something that when the fees are very low, people attend to sell much faster than when the fees are high. So on seeing you tell that you was telling me that of course you're gonna see more volatile, we're gonna see more movement on the side of Pulse chain. Is it not a bit strange that people are gonna sell much faster on the side of Pulse chain than on the side of Ethereum
Well,
because of the high fee?
let's assume that that's the correlation, right? Is that like low fees make people sell more. Now, one thing I will say is that people will stake shorter on Pulse chain more than likely than they would on Ethereum, because if Ethereum gas prices are hundreds of dollars, right, for a transaction, you got to throw it out there and just, you know, let the contract work for you. On Pulse chain, it's going to be a fraction of a penny, right? So you could do a 1-day stake and, you know, be profitable. So, you know, that's going to be a factor. But, you know, one thing to take into account is that, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats, you know, the saying, and you're going to have PulseX burning, you're going to have Pulse chain burning, and, you know, both of those are deflationary. They're probably going to run up hundreds or thousands of X's, and that will raise the value of HEX. So, you know, it's something to consider. So, you know, what's going to happen in the short term, I don't know, but I do know that the ecosystem getting stronger and the more strong coins that are tied with liquidity due to Hart's law is going to be a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the fees necessarily ramps up the selling or discourages the selling. I think like Wendy said, it's going to be the change in the staking habits that really affects this change selling, because it makes sense, right? If people are doing a bunch of earlier stakes, they have more access to their funds, and they might be tempted to sell on that 10x, 20x, 50x, and they'll just sell sooner. But on the Ethereum side, you're probably gonna, until they get their shit together, you're gonna have to stake out. Might as well stake out longer. So we'll probably see, people have asked that question, like how's the T-share rate gonna like change as far as the two stakes go, and like initially they're going to be copied over the same, and they're probably going to stay the same for the most part for a while, but then they're slowly going to start to deviate over time as different systems realize different ROIs, and it's going to be the longer stakes that end up receiving the highest ROIs in the ecosystem.
How am I supposed to move in with Sam if he has trailer park internet?
Don't
wait until he gets it fixed.
Sam, it's a mission of yours.
He said tomorrow.
Get your internet. I will film you at the gym if you get your internet fixed. I will film you at the gym. If that's a good freaking deal. It's like a really good deal. But I'm living with you for free, so maybe it's a better deal for me.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing. I love getting up in the morning with crypto in the morning. Jim Red Cryptos, thank you so much for what you're doing. And right now I was just listening to T-Shares and Wendy's Motley. They explained it so well. And I thought now, since you understand T-Share and the T-Share price going up now, there is now a place for you to understand Maxi, right? If you talk T-Shares, you must talk Maxi in the future, because there will be a Maxi contract out, right? There will be a Maxi contract out that you can buy in and now have a share of a 5555 stake that was made in like a couple of days, right? In a couple of days, all the HEX that got sent to the Maxi contract will be staked for 5555. Maybe it will even be the biggest stake ever made for 5555. Can you guys confirm that, Motley or Wendy's? Like, I think not even the OA has made a bigger pace, better maxed out stake, right?
No, the HEX Godwell, I think, did like over $1 billion HEX stake, or like 800 something million. So that was the largest Quattro Cinco stake.
All right, nice. But so why is Maxi so important once you understand the T-shares, right? Look, me, Tandy's, Motley, what we had to do in the old days when we staked, we did not even have a calendar. We had to put in how much HEX we want to stake, how long we want to stake. We had to think about the T-shares and all that stuff. And then we made our 5555 stake. Why? Because Richard said so, right? But now it's going to be so easy for you, as you have MetaMask, to just go on Uniswap, buy a couple of Maxi, let's say 100 Maxi. And what are these Maxi now? These Maxis are representing a share of a 5555 stake. And what kind of T-share price got this big stake got? It got a really nice T-share price, which is like 21,200. What is the T-share price right now?
It's either 21 or 22,000 HEX. It might be 22,000 HEX.
I'll pull it up and
already. No, 21,500. That's what I'm guessing.
Might be 21,300 something. I don't know.
21,300. Okay, so this contract. Yeah, let's make it correct. Hexline would like that too.
Oh, come on.
I'll probably beat you.
21,344. 21,344.
So today the T-share price is 21,300 HEX for one T-share, and in a couple of days, this smart contract will make a big 5555 stake with this awesome T-share price. And then whenever we come along in the future, let's say 1 year, 2 years, when the T-share price is already at 30,000, 40,000, then you can still buy Maxi and get that awesome T-share price from back then, from 21,000. Isn't that amazing? My old granny does not have to worry about the T-share price rising anymore or how long to stake and stuff. She can just go to Uniswap and buy a Maxi, and that's it. And she is set. Why? Because then in the future, she can end stake a stake which grants her a maximum profit of HEX and also Hedron.
You're a little wrong.
I'm not sure.
Wendy's, the reason we're not answering you is because your audio is not coming through.
Oh, it's not?
Try
I mean,
again.
it wasn't
You're good.
muted, but
Go
it was
ahead.
in and out.
You hear me now?
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
Go.
Okay. I was going to say that if there's no art bots, then, there's a potential to make money, like, so let's say somebody does like a very big buy on, HEX. Well, if
Maxi
the
lags behind.
Maxi token hasn't pumped, right?
Yep.
Maxi is representing HEX and T-shares, right? So like you
And
could go
Hedron, technically.
buy the Maxi that represents the HEX, right? So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we talking about arbitrage opportunity?
Yeah, so what he's saying is, so like Maxi is supposed to represent Hex 1-to-1, right? That's how it gets minted. When people submit their Hex to the Maxi contract, they're getting a 1-for-1 mint of Maxi. So what he's saying is essentially, let's say like someone like Godwell came in, did like a big buy they did early on, and they just like 2x the price. If the Maxi market doesn't have time to react to it, you can sneak in there and you could essentially buy a bunch of Maxi tokens for a lot less than a 1-to-1 value of Hex currently. So there's always going to be an opportunity watching Maxi. If the price of Hex pulls away too much, you can actually buy more Maxi. And not only are you buying that 1-to-1 Hex entry into that pool also has an additional potentially 10% if they hit that 150 million Hex point. So that could be a very good opportunity for you to essentially get a discount on Hex via another token.
Right now, you're talking about how Maxi is also a different tool. It's not only a tool to get the best T-share price, it is also a tool for a good time to buy Hex, right? Or to buy Maxi. And that's how I see it as well. Because I believe Maxi will always be bounded to what the stake is worth in value, right? So it will fluctuate around the Hex price, maybe sometimes trade in a premium, sometimes for a sale. And maybe it's even a really good tool to understand when it's a good buying opportunity, because if this Maxi is trading on a sale, this means it should be a good buying opportunity, right?
And right now it's on a dip also, so I'm not saying go buy it, but it's not financial advice.
Dude, after Motley was talking yesterday, dude immediately got my computer out and just started buying shit. I was like, dude, I need more T-shares. Literally, whenever Motley goes on one of his like 20, 30-minute rants, it's like directly proportional with me getting my computer out within like 20 minutes.
It's a good thing.
So, Jimrad, you're saying it pretty good. You want more T-shares, right? Since this is the only thing that matters. How do you get more T-shares?
Pre-fork. If you're watching this and you have liquid Hex and you're new and you're maybe not sure, oh my God, I'm addicted to these pre-fork T-shares. This is what I need to be doing in this part of my life right now. For me, this is not financial advice for anyone else because this is just my life. But as far as long-term wealth, I've never seen a better opportunity in my entire life. I've never laid eyes on anything like this. I never was involved with finance regular, but I was a savvy kid. I paid attention to real estate for the most part. It's like, this is just no overhead, free money. Like, that's it. It's just no overhead. Like, if you want to just talk it plain and simple, it's been 800 some days now. The thing obviously works. You're just making money with no overhead by putting money in, clicking 4 buttons and changing your money from your bank account to your decentralized wallet and then into the Hex contract.
It's the purest form of passive income that exists today that I'm aware of, right? So to me, it's a no-brainer.
Right. So let's bring it back to Maxi again, because it's so important. Crypto, Jimrad, you said you want more T-shares, right? But as a small fish, what do you do in order to get more T-shares? Back in the day, I just staked out longer, 5. This gave me the most T-shares. But since I have so little financial energy, I need a product like Maxi where we can all pool together. And I just saw it here in the comments. Already 67 million Hex has been sent to the Maxi contract. And
let's get over that 150 mil, guys. Let's get over that 150 mil, guys. Come on, we want that 10% bonus, guys.
That's exactly what we want. Because we're small people, we participate only really small from the bigger pays better bonus. But once we pool all together, then we can all win. And we can maximize out our T-shares. For me, for Motley, for Wendy's, this is the only way how we can maximize out our T-shares, by pooling and also by restaking out for way longer. Those two things we have, right? Is there anything else?
Pooling, like, this is what people, this is like a part of everything, right? So, every financial instrument has pooling of some sort. That's an investment, I'm sure, in one way or another. It's pretty crazy that, like, because the way it was Maxi was told to me was just like, you're going to get a 1-to-1 copy of this thing called Maxi, but you're going to be earning the same amount of as the Hedron yield combined with the max plus the 10% if they hit that 150 mil point. And I was like, that makes perfect sense to me. All we're doing is putting all of our energy together to use the system effectively to the max potential as far as the bonuses, because no one human has enough economic energy to get all the max bonuses.
And you know what is awesome? We have Motley and we have Wendy's here, and they are actually the sheds of pooling. They have perfected pooling. Isn't that true? Isn't that true what I'm saying? And
no, it's true.
I know it's true. And Motley, I asked you about Maxi and what's your opinion about it. And you said you want to pledge some HEX for Maxi as well. And here it is, guys. I think for the HEX community, it would be so important to have a really good 100 million HEX staked in Maxi that we can utilize in the future. You know, we can just tell the people when we onboard them, buy a little bit of Maxi. That's a really good pool. You get a really good T-share price. You get the best return of investment because it represents a 5555 stake. And we should make sure that we, as a HEX community, have a contract like this. And Motley and Wendy's, it would be awesome if you guys come together with your LLC maybe and help out to make this pool even bigger. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We are at 67 million HEX right now, and 150 million would be amazing. So everybody could profit from this product in the future. Maxed out bonuses. This is what we want.
So I don't know if you know this, but we were actually building something very, very similar to that. We were actually building a contract for max length pool stakes. Not the same as Maxi. It didn't have a token or anything like that. And our devs just basically like couldn't figure out the math behind it. We had like a way to incentivize, because one thing we were worried about is like, you know, people putting in money. Like a lot of people don't want to be the first to put in money. People would rather like earn interest and then put it in when it looks like it's going to hit 150 million. So we figured out a way to like incentivize people to get in early with getting essentially like more yield, almost the same as T-shares. But yeah, it was too much for the devs.
And then of course you have to do the audits then as well. Somebody has to pay for this audit. And Maxi is out now. We have no admin keys. We have audits. It's an awesome product made by Hexagons for Hexagons. And this is why I think the HEX community really needs a product like this out there. Because Wendy's, even if you tell your developers to fix that problem, fix their math, and in about half a year you would bring your product out, it would still be really beneficial to have a well-working Maxi product out with 150 million HEX, bigger pace, better bonus.
Oh yeah, I like what they're doing. It it works. So
exactly, yeah, because it's like a time machine, you know. With Maxi, once this stake is made, people in the future will be able to go back in time to get this awesome T-shirt price, you know. And all the products that are built in the future, like Maxi, they still do not get this awesome T-shirt price.
I was thinking yesterday, and I asked Motley this, and he pretty much confirmed what I was thinking. Most people will not see through an entire 555 stake. Like I would say, like 1%, 2%. How many people will actually see through without end staking? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to say that most people won't. I'm going to say that there's plenty of people that have too many 555s and not enough to like hold them over in the meantime. Those are the people that are at risk for EESing. If you have a true staking ladder, like, and you're getting paid every month, every year, you're probably not going to EES a 15-year stake because you get paid at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, you know.
Sam has a question in the chat. I keep forgetting. Highlight question. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Hold off. Well, on his. Okay, we'll do his real quick. Wait, no, hold on. I want to do something with Maxi real quick before we go to Sam's question.
Please.
So just to play devil's advocate, because Abit went full Maxi Pro, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate side of Maxi. So couple things with Maxi, right? It is another contract layer, so there is always going to be a larger attack surface when you have an additional contract layer on top of the HEX contract. Yes, it is audited, but you're just going to have more risk. It's just inherent to increasing the attack surface area, right? So keep that in mind. Not saying that it will fail or there might be an issue in the future. We just don't know. And it's the same way. Maybe the HEX contract, the bug hasn't been figured out with whatever, right? But the attack surface has increased with another contract layer. So keep that in mind. Second of all, the stake, I think when it goes live, will be hopefully 150 million hex, which will be a 10% bonus, which is good. Like Abe was saying, most of us can't get that on our own. So it gives the smaller guys a nice boost, a long Quattro Cinco stake. Now, and it'll also get you a 4x, I believe, when it goes live. It'll be a 4x in Hedron as well. So that'll be nice. But in the future, once that pool is done, you won't be eligible for anything else, let's say, that gets airdropped to the Hex community, right? Like you won't, like Hedron, like was a surprise to us that when Alex built it and gave it out to all the Hex stakes. Since you won't actually have control of that, you won't have anything that's maybe additionally given out or dropped to Hex stakers in the future. Is that opportunity cost worth it for the additional 10% of Quattro Cinco stake? Yeah, probably. So you don't need to worry about that too much. But the last drawback I would say, and probably the biggest one for Maxi, is you do have access to sell it, right? How many of us, if we had coins, and most of us have been in crypto for a cycle or two, and we had coins and we had access to sell them, we probably sold them at some point, or we traded them on a 10x, 100x, 1000x, 2000x. At the end of 15 years, there's a very good chance that Hex does millions of X, like just like Bitcoin did, right? Are you going to be able to hold on to that Maxi token all the way through? You may not, but I guarantee you, if you did it just strictly with Hex, the code will actually prevent you from selling that out, or at least you're going to take one hell of a hit if you do. With the Maxi token, you can sell it on any DEX, any centralized exchange that picks it up. So again, you just have to know yourself, and are you willing to hold on to liquid coins, because you're going to be much more tempted than you would if it was just a normal Hex stake. So just keep that in mind. There are trade-offs.
And we're still
Motley, amazing what you just said. Like you totally did the opposite side of what I said, and everything was right. I have to say yes to every single point you were saying, and that's exactly it.
I totally agree.
But that's great though, right? There's both sides, and it's
amazing.
good to just analyze all of it, and then you have to make an educated decision and financial choice for yourself. And that's all we do on these streams, right? It's like you give education and knowledge with, and then it's on that individual to take all this information they learned, and then they make a decision for themselves.
And that's
I want to make one thing straight. I do not say only buy Maxi now and Hex is dead because of Maxi. That's of course not it. I think we should onboard the people that to buy a little bit of Maxi, just a little bit, and then have their staking ladder in Hex for 14 years, 13 years, 12 years, and so on, just like Wendy's explained. Maxi should just be seen as a tool to get an awesome T-share price, to get an awesome T-share boost, like you said, Motley. I think this is what it is. So I said that I went in hard in Maxi, but what does it really mean as a Hexican as I am, right? I'm 100% staked for 14, for 15, and stuff like this. My average is 6.3 years. So all the liquid Hex that I had available just to live my life, I used 20% of that to put into Maxi. Why? Because I wanted to do a 5-5-5-5 stake anyways, right? Every single year, I only do one stake, and this is a 5-5-5-5 stake. And this time, I decided to do it with the Maxi contract. That's it. That's no more and no less.
And this Maxi contract will only run once too, right? If it's kind of like a proof of concept. I was talking to Gold Key about this on Cabana's show the other week. If they want to run it again, it'll actually be a new token. It'll be the same contract. It'll be the same idea, but it'll be a new token. So once this is staked and everyone's minted all their Maxi, that's all the Maxi that'll be in existence. So if they choose to do this again, because proof of concept, this worked, 150 million Hex is staked out, then they can do it again and it'll be another token. But again, something to think about opportunity cost wise. Like this will probably be the most valuable of this protocol, right? Because not only is it getting the Hex for 15 years, it's getting the Hedron with the 4x multiplier for 15 years. And it's just an earlier, long maxed out stake.
3x multiplier.
Whereas if they do this again later in time, the T-share price is ratcheted up. They're going to get the same bonus. It's still going to be 10%, but it's going to be the T-share price. They're going to get less T-shares for their 150 million Hex potentially. And then they're not going to get the 4x multiplier on Hedron. So again, it's just all stuff to think about. You definitely probably, like Abit said, you want to get some Maxi if this is something that interests you.
And let's talk about the first mover advantage. Let's talk about the first mover advantage. What do you think about that? In Hex, this is massive because the T-share price only goes up. So there will never be a better Maxi than the one we have right now.
Yeah. Maxi 1 is the one to get in on if you want to do it, for sure.
But guys, we are also getting a copy of Maxi, right?
Yeah, so you'll have access to
You see?
the HEX, the Hedron on Ethereum, and Pulse Chain, so you'll get both.
It's disgusting.
All right. Do we want to answer Sam's question now?
Yes. Let me read this question. Let me read this
Sorry,
question.
Sam.
You realize I have to deal with Sam, and he's got questions, and I'm going to do the backlash.
Tell him to get better internet, and we'll answer his damn questions.
Yeah, he's going to be
There
like,
you go.
afterwards, he's gonna be like,
incentivize his ass.
Text Motley real quick. Text Motley real quick. Ask him one thing. I'm going to be like, no, dude. So, guys, real quick, my question is, what happens if HEX equals $100? Will the OA have to stake more to drop the daily payout per T-share? I'm going to ask Wales that question since he's in. Wales, great to see you this morning.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here. And the answer is no. The OA is there to allow the system to thrive. It's not there to actually manipulate the system. So
which
the
is
OA
odd
would
concept
do,
for most people to
yeah. That's exactly why I answered it like that, because I understood his question. But the OA is there to do nothing. Actually, the OA is just there to be an overseer. It's like a watchman, just looking from afar, not trying to, make sure you don't mess it up, basically. So the short answer is no. OA will be doing nothing.
Why does the OA don't need to do anything? Because the market will handle itself.
Yeah,
we will get so many HEX per T-share that at one point somebody will sell, the price will go down, and the market will just handle the situation. It's no problem. That's actually what the market does.
That's what it's doing right now. So like, I don't understand why people would think that like the OA would do something, to stop that. Like, if the payout's very high, there'll be a sell-off. That's opportunity for new people. Just like now, it's either you take advantage of that or you cry later, right? So the OA is not going to do anything to stop that. But also think about it. By the time we go to 100, there's a lot more people staking in the system. We won't be at 10%, right? We won't be at 10%. Maybe we're at 30%.Maybe we're at 40%. So it's going to be a completely different, like the APY
adjusts itself.
Exactly.
Guys, here's the best point for the price going up. And Motley and Wendy's, you guys have been successful businessmen before HEX already. Since HEX did 10,000x, did your life really change? I'm guessing no. So I will put out this statement. As HEX rises, as the price is $100, we Hexicans will sell even less. We will sell even less than the interest we are making. So the price will go up even more. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the more confidence, even intuitively, everyone will have in the system, the more days go by, right? Like the more days go by, intuitively, it's just you're just gonna trust the system more, inherently understand the value, and realize how to maximize that value as you move forward. Because you're just getting robbed from everywhere else. If your dollars are even floating around anywhere, you're just getting robbed. So it's like you're just literally figuring out where to put your money in the meantime while you work on your life, and you take out the money that you need to do your projects and live the life whatever life you would like to live at that moment.
I mean, maybe Wendy's and Motley are really bad examples because I know they have never sold any HEX. Me, on the other hand, since I do not have any no job, right? And I also had the tour, so there was HEX sold, but only the interest. But now I see it on myself. Like if the HEX price is really, really little, I probably have to sell a little bit more HEX. But if the HEX price is really high, then I probably have to say really less HEX because my life of living basically does not change.
And we have Pulse Chain Mainnet going live too soon, right? So like when that goes live, you have all kinds of new opportunities to earn yield, whether that be delegation with validators, being a liquidity provider, earning incentive token, fees. You have a bunch of different ways to earn income now via essentially this new vertically integrated Richard Hart ecosystem. And that last asset that'll probably ever get sold, it's probably going to be HEX, right? Because it's still the most speculatively sticky one there. It gives you the highest yield out of all of them. And you're just going to want to acquire more. So what do? You stake it out longer. You stake it out Quattro Cinco at the end of your ladder. And you just continue to grow your share count as much as you can. Because eventually that day runs out, right? Where you can't leverage your time and you have to bring in more and more economic mass to get more T-shares. And eventually you're just not going to be able to afford them.
Well, If I
Go
may,
Wales.
if I may interject,
I saw the wind up.
well,
Could
you
feel it.
you set it up for me because I think people really do not understand hex still, and the reason I say that is because they're not realizing what's being built up around it. A lot of things are being built up around it.
Feed the beast.
So at one point in time, we had no option but to sell hex, right? I mean, Abit is a great example as to why we had to sell hex. I mean, he was out here trying to do things to pump the bag, literally in real life. So that forced an actual transfer of value because in the real world, dollars is what makes shit move, not clicks and not, thumbnails and shit. It's dollars, right? So what does that mean? That means that at that point in time, he actually had to press the sell button. But fast forward a fucking year, it's a completely new situation. You have Hedron. You have a copy coming around the corner. You have Pulse Chain, PulseX, now Maxi for all your liquid hex. Nobody should ever have liquid hex, FYI. If you have liquid hex, you are not paying attention. Period. That is all.
So, Wills, let's say you have some liquid hacks for the most people that didn't sacrifice for Pulse Chain or Pulse X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing when the Pulse Chain is gonna be launched. What do you think about those people that have in liquid out? Because I understand that they wanna, by having the opportunity to buy more Pulse or to buy Pulse or to buy Pulse X on the Pulse Chain
Mm-hmm.
side. Do you think that's the smart idea, or do they have to stake it until? Because if we know right away the day of Pulse Chain launch, I'll be like, okay, let's
Yeah, it
stake
doesn't
it for
matter,
that
right?
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in that scenario, because I wasn't even talking about that scenario, I wasn't taking that scenario into account at all with that comment. I was literally talking about strictly liquid hex that you don't intend to do anything with. So if you have some money set aside, whether it be in hex or ETH or whatever, you need to figure out how you want to hold it once that fork event actually happens. Because I don't think you want to be holding USDC, for example.
No.
Right.
Nah.
Too much of a risk.
So yeah, so it's a lot of risk. So the question that becomes: do you want to actually swap everything to Maxi and give up Maxi on the other side, or do you want to actually segregate your holdings accordingly? X whatever for swapping of that X for Pulse Chain or Pulse X, because a lot of people missed either or, right? So a lot of people are in that situation where they don't know exactly what they're going to want to swap for Pulse Chain or Pulse X, but they're going to want to swap something.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Crypto Profeta. I gave the same advice to Sam's friend the other day back in the green room coming up, because he's like brand new, right? Like doesn't even have hex yet. So like my advice to him was, if someone was getting today, I think the best way for them essentially to maximize their bag is
Hex.
buying hex is no brainer, right? Like
Yeah.
we're at 80% dip right now. Get your hex, get your copy. Mainnet goes live. You can then, and you can keep it liquid. It's okay. You can keep it liquid, and you can choose to allocate some of it to the new coins that you don't have. Pulse Chain, Pulse X. Let's be honest, they're going to run hard and fast. It's the new shiny object syndrome, right? New ecosystem. They're gonna go the fastest, the hardest first. So you can allocate some of that hex if you want to. You can choose to hold it and just go straight fiat, but you have the option to. Once you get through there and you start building up your Pulse Chain, Pulse X bags, if you so choose, you'll still have your hex on both chains, whatever you decided to proportion out for yourself, and you can start creating your staking ladder. You'll still have the ability to do it on both chains. It'll just cost you a little bit more gas, and it's really going to suck on the ETH side. Sorry, it's just the way it is. But maybe you stake it up. Maybe you adjust your staking ladder according to what chain you're on. So Ethereum chain, you're like, well, I'm good over here on Pulse Chain. I can interact freely with little to no gas fees. And on Ethereum chain, maybe you're just like, I'm okay with maximizing my T-shares, and you send them all out to Quattro Cinco, or maybe you do a very small ladder that only has like 3 rungs. Maybe you do a 5, 10, 15, just again, whatever works for you. But keeping liquid up to this fork, if you're brand new, it does give you some options to kind of adjust and get, you want to have the Trinity, right? Like you want to have Pulse Chain, you want to have the layer 1, you want to have the HEX, the store value yield earner, and you want PulseX. That's going to be the decentralized exchange with the buy and burn, single side staking. And then you want all 3 of those, so you can even have the option to provide liquidity if you want to, and do some incentive token mining and fees. So options are always a good thing, and you can't go wrong with getting all 3 of Richard Hart's products in his new ecosystem, especially 100%. The ones that are brand new.
I want to add one more thing, because I have not heard it from you, and it is so important. I think it's important, if you find out about HEX, to make a 5555 stake as soon as possible, even right now. Even if you think that the Ethereum fees are too high, do it. You know why? Because if you make a 5555 stake right now, it's going to be copied over to Pulse Chain, and then there you will have this awesome T-share price, which you will never have if you make your stake in 2 months when Pulse Chain comes out.
Yep.
Very great point, Abe. Yep. Very great point. I mean, I always like to refer to Kareem's 30% strategy. Like, just take 30% of whatever you got, stake that bad boy to the max. You know, just do it if you got enough, right? If you're like a little guy in terms of dollar value, where you don't even have, say, 500 HEX, then maybe you want to get just some maxi, because that's really the smart play for you. It really, really is a smart play for the person with the small dollar value, because it gives them the same access with less cost. It's
now, you do need to know yourself though as well, Wales. Like I don't know if you heard earlier, like when we were talking about it,
probably
like,
missed it.
Yeah, if you're a new person and let's say you're getting maxi now, you do have to understand that you're going to have access to those coins for the next 15 years. Are you gonna be able to realize the potential million X that maxi is gonna have alongside HEX? Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
That depends on your hands, right?
Exactly. Look at the Bitcoin guys. They're a prime example, right? How many of them actually made it all that way to 6.9 million X? Pretty much zero. Pretty much zero made it with all their backs to 6.9 million X.
You mean Peter McCormick doesn't have a ton of
Bitcoin? Wrecked, sir.
Richard Hart made a product for plebs like me. Like back in the day when I bought
like
HEX,
everyone.
I staked everything. And then HEX made like 1,000x. I have never seen anything like that. If it wouldn't be staked, I would have sold everything probably.
Right.
But I was staked. I saved myself from selling too early. And this is what HEX does. HEX makes you delay gratification because code is law. That's so important.
This is why we'll become the richest community in crypto.
So let me ask you guys this then, because this is what comes to mind for me because what you guys are saying is it's pretty valid, right? It's not like it's not valid, because it's true. Everybody doesn't just have automatic diamond hands. So perhaps even if you're new and even if you don't have a lot of X, you should stake it so you can learn why you need to be staking it. So that then you can graduate to maxi, because it's kind of true. It's a level of understanding you need to have, because if you don't realize that you got to hold this maxi, then you're gonna mess it up, because you know a lot of people still don't get it, and it's very simple. It's a literal math problem, right? You have all of the HEX that's backing the coin, plus all the Hedron that's backing the coin. That gives you a number. That is it. There's no more than that, right? Like, that's it.
What people don't realize when they enter the space is one of their biggest combative things they're going to face is themselves, right? Like they're going to face their own greed. They're going to face their lack of knowledge, and it wrecks them 99.9% of the space. And most of us that have been here a couple cycles now have gone through and earned our lumps, earned our scars. That's why I get so excited when I see people like Sam's friend the other day, Joe, getting into this ecosystem first and being able to learn the right way. And like Wales was saying, HEX is a teaching instrument. It teaches you how to delay gratification, whether you want to or not, because there is no middleman. There is no you just can't access the coins like you could anything else. Like there is code physically stopping you from accessing your coins. You're
Literally.
going to realize those gains one way or the other.
Yeah, whether you want to or not, or you're gonna pay for it.
Or you're gonna lack the information and try to get your coins early and not realize the damage you're gonna do to yourself, and you're gonna pay.
And then I'm.
And then we get it. So
Right.
the staking
you.
class gets it.
Thank you.
So again, arm yourself with knowledge.
In that
Let
minutes.
Hex teach you what it's meant to teach you, and you'll become successful.
If you
So
guys
guys-
are not willing to learn about all of this stuff at some point, you don't have to learn it all
So,
on a weekend. but
okay.
you got to learn all
So check
of
it
at
out.
some point.
Then let me tell you guys something. Now, this is why, for the longest period of time, I focus on one thing and one thing only anytime that I stream, and that was what? Building generational wealth. I don't give a fuck about speculating. I don't give a fuck about nothing. Just building wealth. Because the only way to do that, I even have a song for it. And it's that simple. Yeah. But it's true. But it's true because why
I'm
do
just
people
interested
make
in the song.
well, yeah, but what is the
Send
song
it to me.
saying? I'll send it to you, but what is the song saying? The song is saying, just sit on your ass and do nothing. That's it.
Pretty profitable. Pretty
Yeah.
profitable.
And
Yeah,
that's what
past
staking
90K
forces.
When I was
90K stakers.
nurses, I was telling them, I was like, guys, I'm making money right here in this hospital bed.
Doing nothing.
You're doing nothing.
Yeah, that
And
shit
the
is
code,
crucial.
code is law. Richard Hart protects us by doing something wrong. We just stake out long. We don't have to do anything anymore. But I think the penalties is not only that we are protecting us by from ourselves. The code is also protecting the hex price from hackers, right? If
Yeah.
somebody hacks, like Hex 19 gets hacked, and now the hackers have the coins, they want to sell it, but the code hits them with a penalty, and now they do not have the power to hurt the price. I think this is also something awesome. Let me ask you guys, do you think Richard Hart had that in mind when he implemented that into the
Not
code?
at all.
Or more and more
don't
things
think
come
so.
out of that product text that is just
Yeah.
awesome, right?
Yeah, I don't think he had that in. I don't think so. I don't know.
He might have not, but it's beautiful, right? And it shows you like throughout the history of Hex, we've learned so many cool things. But like that was actually a huge turning point for me in Hex when we're going through the ecosystem. When we had the first big emergency instake, and it wasn't a hack. It was a guy named CM that decided like he had invested a lot of money into Hex early on, and it was funny because you got to balance the portfolio. He was literally in the Telegram chats telling everyone like, "Hey, just so you guys know, I'm ending my stakes and I'm going to sell." And this guy had hundreds of millions of Hex, and everyone's like talking to this guy, and he showed some proof that it was actually him doing it. And we're like, why are you in staking? Like you're taking all these massive penalties. And he's like, Hex performed so well, it like balanced his portfolio was so unbalanced. He wasn't comfortable with Hex being that much allocation of his portfolio. So he's just like, I'm going to end stake some of these. I'm going to take my profit. He still had a couple long-term stakes. He was okay with taking the penalties. The entire community was going crazy, was applauding, like, yeah, keep it going, like, end them. like we got almost 13 Hex payout that day, and that record lasted as long as Hex 19's hack, which was a little bit more of a sad occurrence, but it shows you how beautifully designed the system is, because this guy was able to get out. He was willing to take his lumps and get his profit for it, but the community also was okay with it. They were, go ahead, sell, man, enjoy yourself. Like, as a staking class, you were getting, at the time, it was at least a 2x, if not like almost a 3x of the payout. So like, we're like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing, man. And like, everyone was happy. And it was just like, wow, the system works like no other system I've ever seen before. Everyone truly can win in the system. I was just like, this is incredible.
Yeah, but that guy's still a moron, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like I actually reconnected. I found him in a Telegram group not too long ago. I was like, oh shit. I was like, see him? I was like, the CM that had the record for the instant. He's like, yeah. I was just like, oh shit. So I caught up with him for a little bit. He's still, I mean, dude, the guy's got like over 100 million Hex staked for 10 years. Like he's still gonna be good.
Still gonna be good, but man.
But he'd be a
hurts.
massive, he'd be one of the top. Top.
Sure. But guys, let's go back in time and think for a second. And I'm gonna say it in Spanish if someone can translate it for me.
Wales got you.
Dale.
¿Quién estaba preparado para todos los proyectos que iban a salir para ayudar HEX.
Oh, I knew it was coming. So, all right, let me
translate first,
yeah,
sir.
let me translate. Whoops.
Oh, I got that.
He asked who thought that all of these projects were going to be erected upon HEX. And I was just like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. Because even I wanted to do something like it's just, you know, what like and this is the thing, I've been talking about it for a long time, but nobody really understood what I meant. But now it's coming true.
Welcome to being the new Bitcoin, guys.
In real time.
Everyone's the community is going to build stuff, and who do you think they want to become wealthy with them? Their own community, their own people.
That's right.
And then you have people on the outside that want to build projects, and they're like, huh, I want to cater to some of the, and again, remember, when you give up one coin for another, there's opportunity costs right there. But there's people that have eyeballs outside of our community on us. They know that we're rich, that we have a lot of money, as opposed to a lot of the other crypto space, because of a product that Richard Hart's created. So we're going to be targeted by their coins too. But guess what? Maybe they give it, some of them, to us for free. And you know what Hexicans like to do with free coins. So
we're armed with the info.
Bye,
That's
Louis.
the problem. We're armed with too much info that there's nothing that anyone can really do at this point, because once you know, even if you got cleared out to zero, you'd be better off than everyone else, because you'd just be like, oh, here we go. I'm just going to start printing money. Let's go to cryptographics real quick. Literally, I just did it, guys. Trust me.
I'm sorry, but you're right, man.
No, it's not that hard. You can go to zero. I just did it, and then you can say, well, I'm just going to start getting these money printers and working a little bit, and then it just works out really good, guys. What do you guys do with your time? For anyone who has staked completely, it's so easy to get depressed if you aren't working on things and striving forward.
Oh, God.
I will answer this first. It doesn't matter about being staked. Like, just take that whole first sentence out of here. It's easy to get depressed if you're not striving forward, period. It doesn't matter if you know about crypto. It don't matter if you are doing a cooking show, if you're doing some tattoo shit. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're not striving to be better, you will be depressed if you're a man, I think. Or at least that's how my brain kind of operates. If striving forward is part of being a human. Like, that's what humans were designed to do, push forward, or you will be done with. You know what I mean? Overall. So I'm going to say having a goal when you wake up every single morning is the single most important thing that can be in your life. You need something to strive forward to daily.
I give people that advice all the time, especially when like the HEX price is down, because that's when people get out, right? That's when they think, oh, this thing's done. It's going to zero. Like, what's going on? I just bought and now I'm down 50%. It's like, guys, we've done this 7 or 8 times. Take it from someone who's gone through all of them from the beginning to today. Like, you're going to hit all-time highs again. Just look at the opportunity that you have coming your way. Like right now you have almost like a 5x coming your way if you buy now, right? But you have to switch that thinking in your brain, because most people do not like to buy in the red like this. But the opportunity for your future is so great, and people, this is the problem when you have idle hands, like, right, you run into trouble because you're not focused on being better mentally, physically. You get focused on shit that doesn't matter, like price, especially if you're fucking staked. Like, it's just common sense at a certain point. It's just like the price doesn't matter to you if you're staked. You're earning yield, and you couldn't sell if you wanted to.
If you're staked and if you are in accumulation, so you're not retired, you need to be using your time, maximizing your time to make more money to keep buying, right? You need to see that as an opportunity. So, you know, I've said it many times before, but like the last bear market, I had 2 full-time jobs. I was getting it. I didn't have time to be depressed. I was working 80 hours a week. You know, just buying crypto. It was like the price kept going down. I didn't have time to be depressed. I was just grinding.
Exactly.
You know, just exhausted. But guess what? It paid off. So, you know, and guess what? Like, some people can't, you know, you can't work 2 jobs. Maybe you have kids, whatever. There's always something you can do. There's always some side hustle, little thing. And you know, you do something for the community. Maybe you do something else. Like, there is other things you can do. You just maybe need to brainstorm about it a little. But if you're depressed, it's probably because you're not busy enough. That's, you know.
I can exactly sing a song about that.
To answer this one. So both you guys, after Abit, Profeta, I'd love your answer on this one too. Like, what keeps you guys going? Money aside, let's take the money out of our brain for a minute, and let's just talk about purpose and meaning. Like, how has that changed your life when you really started focusing on, you know, the thing that made you like light up in the morning, the thing that made you feel the way that you wanted to feel.
So
And
I
obviously,
started traveling in February 2020. I started traveling in February 2021, and back then I did not have the mindset yet. I was still drinking, I was still partying, right? I was still going to the beach all day, and I had nothing to work on too much, right? It was later then when the tour just made me have responsibilities that then I realized, okay, now I have to get better every single day, and this was the moment when I stopped having time. I had no free time anymore. Today, when I get up in the morning at 8 o'clock, it's just working until I go to bed. Sometimes my girl is just even saying, hey, you're not giving me enough kisses anymore. Am I still on, guys?
Yeah. No, I heard you. Sorry, we were just.
All right,
Yeah, I agree.
So
you know,
just find something that drives you forward, like HEX, and now it's so easy for me to only focus on HEX and bring HEX.com forward, and now we are all thriving.
Yep. Even working out, little things like that. Like, again, you know, like if you're really really busy, it's hard to be depressed because you're just, you know, so busy. Maybe like Abit said, you make a schedule for yourself, right? Me and Motley have been talking about that because we tend to, you know, we get a little lazy sometimes, you know, and you know, so we've been talking about just setting a set schedule, and I think that will, you know, help us. So, you know, try some stuff out, and you know.
And if you guys want help with scheduling of any sort, just talk to Sam. He's a human schedule, and he's very. Sam's good at anything, like money, all that crap aside, like that man is the most consistent day in and day out I've ever seen any human, and it makes him naturally happier. You can tell he's happier than a lot of people because you're certain the next day is certain. You're going to be sitting with Motley working from this time to this time. That's certain. You're going to be hitting the weights from this time to this time. That's certain. Then you can do whatever from that 3-hour window where you guys are just F off or watch a video or do whatever y'all do. You know, it's like it makes your life so much better because the unpredictability and the anxiety makes your emotional state not good enough. It's just all that little shit. Oh, I got to send this paperwork, do this. If you have time for all of it in particular, it makes your emotions be way more easy to deal with, and you can be more productive because you're not emotional.
And great, I think that is shared by most like very successful people, right? They have a routine. They do the same thing every day, you know, and they know what to expect. I mean, you hear that all the time with very successful people. So,
what about
you? All right, guys, I have to jump off the stream. A lot of things to do. I'm really, really happy with that stream. The T-shares were really explained really good today. And guys, don't forget to think about Maxi. At least look into it. Go to Twitter, Maximus_DAO. Give it a follow and a like. I think this really makes the community stronger. And this is why I advocate it so much. In the future, when I will talk about HEX and I will onboard people into HEX, I will also tell them about the Maximum DAO. So pledge your HEX today and mint yourself some Maxi. Thank you guys for having me. I will jump off now. Bye.
Later bro.
Have a good one.
Peace, bro.
Bit Finesse's comment. Go buy a gun, Alan. You're in America, for God's sake.
What about you? What about you, Profeta, on that question? What makes you? When did you decide to start living life for yourself and waking up every morning and taking control over your life? In some way, shape, or form.
Actually, this year, after the sudden wealth, like I was saying before, I was not prepared for it. Right? I was not prepared for it. I was just like, I just had some X, and I hit the jackpot, but I know that I had something precious in my hands, right? And suddenly, you know, I saw my portfolio, and it was like, okay, now what? Right? I didn't have no goals. I didn't have nothing. One of my goals was to be rich, right? So now I have that money, but now I don't have like purpose in life. So I spoke to some people, you know, spoke to some people. They was talking to me about, okay, you have to set some goals in life. You have to have some purpose, right? And then I start writing down all my purpose, what I want to do. Okay, I was like, okay, I'm going back to Dominican Republic. I'm gonna set up a fund. I'm gonna, put up a development school for kids so they can go up and do some coding development and stuff like that. I want to make an exchange in my country. I want to onboard more people to HEX. So I'm gonna start doing some tour in Dominican Republic. I'm gonna do some tour in Latin America. So those type of stuff kept me going, from day one, from this year. Because last year, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tweeted I was very depressed because now you have the money, you don't have to work anymore. So what are you gonna do right now, right? So I was like in the air. I was like getting fat, all fat and stuff, 24/7 behind a computer, make some courses and stuff like that. Yeah, so I was done with it, and now I found you guys talking about fitness and stuff like that. I want to lose some weight also, so
Yes, it's
so
critical.
yeah, that's one of the main things I've been dealing with, and the main thing is that we have now people that help us, in the HEX community to the sudden wealth, right? To be prepared for when you hit that pot, right? So what are you gonna do with the money? So are you gonna spend it out? Are you gonna go out and give it to charities and stuff like that? You have to be prepared for it. And I know that a lot of people are not prepared for it when it suddenly comes.
There you go.
What about you,
What about
Wales?
you,
You're
Wales?
pretty out of shape.
All right. So what do I do? I kind of move from one thing to the next, but I just kind of always, I don't know, because this is what I do. Interestingly enough, so it's a little weird for me. I'm not out of place like you guys. You guys found crypto. This isn't really. I already been doing this kind of thing. Like I've been doing markets since really I was in the military. So really since I was 18, I was really like having to learn about crude oil and energy and power transmission. So I had to learn about that side of the market or that type of market first and foremost to even just understand what the hell I was doing out there. Right. So this is always what I've done. And I've always kind of, once I got to a point where I understood financial literacy was like not a thing, that was a big driver for me. So at some point, I'm definitely gonna set up like some type of global fucking financial literacy foundation. Something
Just a
illegal
little
as hell.
some.
Yeah, something illegal as
A little
hell.
something.
Yeah, something illegal as hell. There's a lot of like where I come from. A lot of people experience a lot of injustices just because they don't have the monetary resources to defend themselves. So I would like to set up a foundation for that as well. So there's a lot of things that we can do that we just learn from experience or just from seeing. There's always opportunities to let things drive us. There's no reason to not ever have a goal or not ever have an idea or something to aspire to or aim to. And I'll tell you, because I was one person that I didn't have any aspirations for a long time. I didn't realize what I was supposed to be doing or whatever. I was just here breathing like most motherfuckers, right? But that's what ends up taking you down that path of despair, is not trying to figure out who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, I was at my lowest of lows when I realized that I was doing nothing about it. I thought that the world was supposed to be taking care of me or whatever nonsense they got you believing. Because that's literally what it is. Whatever it is that you're not doing is your own fault.
Yep.
Nobody
100%.
else.
That's why you gotta hide, dude. I fucking hide from the fucking outside.
Yeah,
Ever since I found crypto, I've been hiding, dude.
You do.
Dude,
Let me tell you something.
When I say hiding, I'm being a little over dramatic. I go to the gym.
No, fuck that. I mean hiding.
Like the people, I don't talk to them like I used to.
Yeah, you're doing what you got to do, bro. Because let me tell you something. People are always gonna find a reason to interject themselves into what you're doing to fuck up your flow so that you can do what they want to do.
Preach it.
Oh God, I'm just learning that, and it's the struggle, dude.
Yeah, not what you want to do.
Love, like intuitively want to mess you up because they don't know how to feel about their own shit.
Yeah, and it's not their fault. They're just looking
No, it's
for a
not.
crutch, and it's just not you right now. You're not the guy right now. That's all. So you know, you got to just realize, you know, what are your priorities? And I think that was my biggest mistake. I was the type of person that even though I was at the lowest of my lows, I was still working out, but mentally I was fucked up in the head because I used working out as a crutch to avoid my problems. Oh, I gotta go do this. I gotta go run. I gotta, you know, and we find these things to be crutches. We're not really progressing if we're just doing one thing properly and the rest of our life is falling
You
apart.
just let it to fall to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I was doing. And you know, it took a lot of pain for me to realize that that's what was going on. So once you realize that you don't have control, man, you better fucking take it. And it sounds simple because it is that simple. It's just on you to realize it's really that simple because it's almost impossible because you're led to believe it's not your whole life. But let me tell you something. I used to be a fat ass. I used to be a 250-pound fat fuck. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes, drink, all that shit. I was an unhealthy motherfucker.
Damn, you at 250 is.
Imagine that. This is when I was in the military, Motley. And
really?
This is when I was in the
military. Dude, I was in the worst shape ever.
Exactly.
In the military.
Motherfuckers would not believe it.
It's true.
I was at 180, 180 kilos back in 2019.
Holy shit, man.
What's the conversion on that?
2.2.
A lot.
386 pounds, roughly.
I was big, a big boy. And I'm telling you, I came from CrossFit. So it was like I went to a deep depression and stuff like that because I lost a lot of money in crypto and stuff like that. But then I was like, I need to figure this out. And then December, pop, found HEX. Bro, it was like I was doing so much research. I went from being 180 kilo January 2019 by founding HEX in 2019 December. Damn. You know, and then from there on, my life just like whoop, turn around.
But you already wanted to do it though beforehand, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how, because it was the same thing that happened to me. I found HEX because I was already working on my life already. Like I was already probably like a year in to working on my life because no, I'm lying. 2 months.
That's how you find HEX. You gotta be ready for it.
You gotta be ready for it.
You gotta be prepared for it.
Actually,
that's how you succeed in life. You put yourself in a position to be prepared for things to occur. Like if you're smart enough as a man to know if you're going to be an entrepreneur or a worker moving forward, you have to be put in a position where if someone says in the prime of everyone's career, you need to move here for the biggest opportunity of your life, or like do this, switch jobs, do something, make a big change. Like you have to be willing, or at least put your mind in the place where you can adjust to something like that. If you want to be, now everyone has, some people have kids and stuff. That's just more like from my perspective, because kids change everything and all that jazz. Obviously, I've never had a kid.
It changed a lot because let me tell you one simple story. When back then 2017 coming up, because I saw the bull run coming from 2016, right? But I was like, yeah, I was not working and stuff like that. I was hustling, trying to make some money to buy some crypto before the bull run hits in 2017, right? I bought a couple of coins and this and that, and then I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money, and I had my kids, I had my wife. You know, everybody was like, I told you you're gonna lose some money. I told you do not go to do that. I told you don't go in and invest your money in crypto because it's not worth it. Bro, if I had to listen to everybody,
I'd still be working at Macy's, bro.
Yeah, man.
In the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Fucking going to school like some schmuck, man. Fuck that.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was enough. It was done for me, man. Seriously. And I had my kids, 3 kids, and then 2018, my wife got pregnant again. And then here I am without money, right? I invest all what I had in crypto. And I'm with my hands on my head. I was like, "What I'm gonna do right
This
now?"
is
Right?
turning
Because
into a soap drama.
Right?
And
It's
I'm like,
fucking
oh, this is
crazy.
crazy. I'm like imagining if I was you, I was like, oh God, you got so
Yeah, it's just
wake
scary,
up in
bro.
the morning and there's freaking kids running around, the stock market's going up and down.
and
You
imagine
got money
yourself.
and shit. I'm over here waking up like scratching my butt, like, should I make a video on T-shares or should I make a video on this?
And imagine yourself, your parents telling you, "I told you," you know what? The
You know
white
how
world.
Dominican parents are.
I told
Oh
you
God, they're
you didn't
relentless
have to
as
spend
far as
your money like
bullish
that.
stuff.
I told you you're gonna lose everything. I saw
Oh,
you were playing with your money on crypto, blah
uh-huh.
blah 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 blah.
If
And I
they
was
don't
like,
like it, you gonna hear it. Better believe that shit.
bro. But
For
then I told my
sure.
mom, you know what? Even if and then everything closed for me, right? Because I'm this kind of person of when you say no to me, for me it's a yes, right? So everybody, I was feeling like everybody was against me. So what I did was I closed myself and I started doing research myself, and I was like, one
That's
day it's gonna
exactly what I
happen.
did.
One day my parents gonna be proud of me. One day this, one day that. But I was doing it wrongly because I needed to do it for myself first, right? To
Right.
Yeah, I
just
never gave a shit about my
encourage
parents. I just
myself
wanted to
first
do
to be the
this.
best of me, bro. And then I made all the wallets and buy some hex for all my family, like I don't even care. I'm gonna tell them later, And
Yeah.
then suddenly I hit it and I was like, "Ma, you see it?" She was like, "I'm so proud of you, blah blah blah. Can you buy me?" And
I
listen to
always
this.
believed in
Good
you.
job ignoring us,
My
And she
dad
was
was
motherfucker.
like,
a little different.
I have some money. Can you invest it for me, please? Because I see that you and
Those
everybody in my
conversations are gonna
community
come.
start coming to me. I have some money. Can you teach me? Can you teach me? I was like, yeah, but inside I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna teach everybody, because if I made it, they also can make it, right? So that's the main thing. Just keep on pushing every time.
The,
If you
the
fail, just stand
problem.
up, go forward. Don't
There's
Yeah.
give
nothing
up,
else to
man.
do. I always tell people there's nothing else to do. Like
But the
when you
problem is
wake up
people
in the
don't realize
morning,
it.
yeah, just there's nothing else to do. The one cool part about my family that was a little bit different is they were all rather successful in their own rights. Like everyone was an entrepreneur of some sort. So I kind of saw nobody ever was like, I'll be proud of you if you make more money. Everyone in my family is like, I'll be proud of you if you figure out what you kind of want to do. Like that's kind of how my family operated. Like they knew the only way for people in my family to be happy is if we're doing something that we like. So like they were always just kind of waiting, but at the same time they think I'm an absolute nutcase for doing this. Absolute nutcase. They think they think I'm getting scammed so half backwards that but they have Hex too, because I just said, hey, if this blows up, you'd better have it in your shit, right? And
You guys are
you
so
know
much
how
more
long I
nicer
tried to
than
get
me.
them to stake Hex? I just sat there and I was like, guys, please, 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 please. Like they're making so much fiat doing their businesses. And I'm like, please, 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 God. I'm like, please, God, help me. And then, you make a stake for them or two, just a long shot one, just so you can make sure everyone's included. And then, but it's hard when they're looking at you at the same time. Like they just don't care about the financial part as much. Like they just don't, you know what I mean? They're
comfortable. That's all.
Yeah, they're comfortable. I think that's it. They just like their routine and they don't want to change it up and they don't want to get scammed. And I told them I got scammed and they were like,
people
oh,
don't like
shit.
being uncomfortable, right?
That's
like
it.
even some like my mentor in real estate, one of the smartest guys I've ever known. Like he's not even comfortable with this, and he'd much rather I just fucking handle all the shit for him. And it's just because he's uncomfortable. Like he's going from being an expert in one field to being like a baby in another. So like he's just not comfortable in this crypto space. And yet like I turned his he gave me like $7,000 to go play with, and like turned it into like a couple $100,000. And he's still just like he's comfortable. He's fine. He doesn't have to worry about money. So like he's just not as interested in the space. I'm like, okay. Try. It's like, well, at least it'll be a great college fund for you and your girls when they get older.
Well, you also tell them, you're like, oh, whatever business you're doing, guys, don't worry. I'll 10x the amount of money you can help the world with whatever business you're doing, right? Because if they're doing a business already, which most people are, or some sort of business or working or whatever, you're like, okay, you don't want to be in crypto or whatever, right? Why don't you just put a stake in, leave it alone forever, and then you can affect the world at 100x rate rather than a 0x rate because you're just breaking even every month when you pay all your employees. It's like You know what I mean? Because anyone who has a business with large overhead knows it's kind of, yes, you make a lot of money, but it's still you're spending a lot of money all the time. Yeah, you're just like, it's like thousands of dollars a month you're spending. With Hex, oh my God, you don't have to do anything. Oh my God.
Real quick, since I know Bullish has tried to throw up there like 10 times now.
Sorry,
just to address Hexographer saying, so if you guys haven't seen on Twitter, there is this Twitter account that I'm not familiar with, but they said they're doing an airdrop to Hexicans. I think April 20th will be the snapshot date. Essentially, if you have stakes, they're saying you'll be eligible. Just the warning, like, and I agree with the Hexographers, just be careful, guys, because like, even if they are building something for the Hex community, right? Like, you don't know until it's out, because they're literally they refuse to give zero details on it. Don't go connecting don't go connecting your freaking wallet to some shit you don't know about, right? Like, make sure that we have a lot of smart people in this community, a lot of smart developers, coders. Let them look at it
even
first.
If they're the smartest people in the world, let's say these are the smartest men in the world behind this project. Let's just for a thought experiment. Why would they not, knowing what we know about crypto and how everything has to be verified 10 times over before you can connect your wallet to it, why would they ever put anyone in a position where they would have to click on something?
I was saying the smart people in our community is like Steph Firebun. Let smart people that are coders and developers in our community verify this stuff when it does come out before you go connecting your wallet all willy-nilly to this shit. If you don't understand if you don't
get audited before it launched.
Yeah. If you don't understand what you're connecting your wallet to, and you don't understand what permissions you're giving a contract, like, don't do it. And like, so, and maybe this is something really good. No idea, because this guy literally puts out zero details, which is a little bit of a red flag. So wait for it to come out. Let some smart people in the community actually figure out if there's anything harmful in this shit before you go and connecting your wallet. And even then, you might want to test it with the dummy wallet first.
GRC ain't connecting nothing.
Yeah, that would be smart. GRC
ain't connecting nothing until Motley says so.
Well, not even me, right?
You have to
rely on others.
We have to wait, because for every project we have seen, from Maximus to Hedron, we have those people coming up, to streams and talk about it, right? And having some chat and like Crypto Coffee, ask some questions, and we go in depth with the project. But with this one, we don't know nothing about it. Right? Yeah. It's not like we don't want to.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, ain't nothing to talk about.
So the guy spoke this morning in the. I'm gonna say this because
the only reason I brought it up, Wales, is like, I think it is something to talk about, because you have new people that just don't realize about it, right?
I don't mean that literally. I'm sorry. That's a figure of speech.
real quick.
I was like, it's good to warn the new guys before they got like, oh, free money, connect.
Yeah. Real quick though, Bullish said, FYI, we spoke to him this morning in the talk space. The Twitter talk space. He's a day one Hexican, seems legit, but preach. Okay, I shouldn't have read that one. All code with open source. All code with open source, but event said everything you said, Motley. Even do your own research. Yeah. So basically, we're all just continuing to.
I could say I'm day one OG and just be full of shit, right? Like, did he verify it? It's open source, whatever. Okay, cool. Has anyone read the code? Has he made it public yet? No. So like, it's all hearsay until you have code, right? Until you have the hard data in front of you. Like, I mean, I'm sure
more than hearsay, because it's almost manipulation.
Well, it's fine. I mean, the guy, I'm sure maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's an awful guy. You don't know, and you just wait until the product's out there. The only reason I even bring this up is just to warn people, not to connect to shit. And this is for the newer people in the community, that they just don't know what they're doing, because you can create vulnerabilities that you don't even realize. So it's just a word of wisdom for some of the new people in the ecosystem. Just take it with a grain of salt.
Especially accounts you have stakes on. When you have stakes on that certain account, try not to play with that account any longer.
Richard Hart calls it picking up pennies in front of freight trains. So you better be damn sure there ain't a freight train behind that penny you're picking up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, please God.
It's just a little sus, like saying you're day one. Like, most of us that are day one know everybody else that's day one, because the community was way smaller back then.
You guys know the guy? Is he a specific named
Twitter
guy?
He is like a year old. It's not 2.5 years old. So I don't know.
Way back when we were on Reddit and Bitcoin org, when you had the forum that we used to go to type and talk to people. People have to know that. People don't know about it.
All I'm gonna say is this: if they're not willing to give out information about anything, you should not be willing to connect your wallet to anything. Period.
Yep. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Just
Yeah,
wait.
good call. I'm out, boys. I gotta rest.
All right, brother.
Take a rest.
Get
Ask
better,
them for
man.
a double dosage and
Recuper-
a dosage.
He said, "Give me the fuck off full screen."
Yeah.
Wendy's, thank you so much, and we hope that you totally don't have any issues from this, and we're praying that you do not get any issues.
Hopefully no surgery, and I'm able to antibiotics and stuff. Just take care of it all. So,
But the hex price actually proportionally goes up for how long Wendy spends at random hospitals because he just onboards everyone that's there.
all the doctors.
So let's just keep him in there for a couple hours, couple more hours.
Reel the next doctor in just real close and just be like, I make more money than you. And just like by the day.
By the day, that's right.
But it's funny because like the like story's been like going around because every time somebody comes in the room, they're like, "Oh, you're the guy," like you're the retired nurse. And then like one of the ladies was like,
"Oh, that's right, you are a retired nurse."
That's what makes his onboarding so much more impactful, especially in that when you're in the environment and you can relate to the people working there. Man, it punches that much harder.
Yeah. Thank you for the $20 super chat. tac.dapstar.io will check your wallet and tell you what permissions you've granted with a throwaway. You can test stuff to see if you could spend your coins. Thank you for the $20 super chat, Bitfinesse, and thank you for supporting the channel as always. And that's a
good one. And you can go in there and you can use it to clear all those permissions in your wallet too. If you have granted them before in the past.
Yep.
Great job, Bitfinesse. Thank you.
All right, bye, boys. Thanks for all the well wishes, everybody in the chat. See you later.
Cuídate, usa mentol, ¿sabes?
Update us later, bro. Update us later, Pendies.
Yeah, we'll do.
Peace, bro.
And just like that, Wendy's was never seen again.
I gotta scold you guys a little bit because you know what? We got all this information and all these old streams that you motherfuckers don't want to watch that y'all want to rehash.
Oh, for sure. No, you're damn right about that. That's because once you do start doing this, and I've watched so many streams. The only thing that's hard, for me, I'm just gonna be honest.
You know what would be a good idea?
It's hard for me now that I do content to watch a lot of other shit, dude.
Hey, you don't gotta tell me, bro.
I know. I knew you would relate right away.
Yeah, I don't watch my own shit. So imagine anybody else's. Unless I'm on there or I literally am just doing nothing, then I'll watch some X stuff. But otherwise, I just don't have the time. You don't have the time.
And I'm prepping for Pulse Chain too. So like, I want this to be here when Pulse Chain launches, so I can help as many people not get scammed as humanly possible as we go down that. Obviously,
there's a problem. There is that the average person that's gonna get scammed isn't watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but there's still like 3 or 4 guys that are like average that'll like get wrecked at some point that are probably watching because they're
probably yeah.
Like the guys that aren't disciplined yet in any way.
You know what I do? I put a scrolling ticker at the bottom, telling people what not to do. Do not share.
Oh, that's a small one.
Because it's when I'm streaming, you probably never noticed, but it's constantly on. But
I'm started running. I will start running some ads on the pre-launch of on Pulse Chain with some free courses for people, to onboard them because that's one of my side of
tell me about that.
Social
Tell
media
me more
marketing.
about that.
Yeah, I've been doing growth hacking for approximately 5 years. That means it's like giving the real information to people. So it's like social media and stuff like that, running some Google ads, Twitter ads, Instagram advertisement and stuff like that. And I just built a course just for people to onboard people to Pulse Chain, and the course is for free. So approximately next month, I will be running some free ads, not running some ads on that course for free. So people, because I know in the Latin America community, I can run the ad and it's very cheap, right? It's like 0.01 cent, right? It's nothing, right? I'll just put like $3,000, $4,000 in and I'll run the ads like for a whole year, right? and then onboard people, just onboard people. So and then give them one hex so they can make their transaction, buy some hex, so they can buy some pulse chain and stuff like that. So that's one of the main thing I'm doing with my own money. Noticing I don't have nothing to do with it. I have to spend it one of a certain way, right? So
thank you very much, Jossol, for the $2 super sticker. What the heck is a super sticker?
You see that in the YouTube. You don't see it in the StreamYard.
I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, you gotta see it on the StreamYard. In the YouTube.
Thank
It's
you
a thumbs up.
I just want to see it.
But it's a red one, so maybe it's Asian.
Yes, red one.
Red Asian candle.
Oh, Jerry Oaksmith, thanks so much, dude. I just saw it pop up. This is one of the guys. He's literally watched me from my first stream, dude. Like every stream, just messaging me saying, "Good job, thank you thank you for help." Just being nice as shit,
Yeah.
And just it's so nice when like older guys, because I'm 28 years old. When guys are like reassuring you that you're doing a good job, that are a bit older, it's really nice because I'm like, oh shit,
because you don't know.
I don't.
You don't know.
I don't fucking
just
know.
Fucking rambling.
Yeah, but then they're like, hey, you did a great job, and I learned something. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and then I can talk to people about also. Oh yeah, this is Sam's internet.
I was wondering what the hell we're looking at right now.
We're getting a live take on it. I don't know what the hell we're looking at, but Sam, fix your shit. Like, come on, fix your shit.
Is that supposed to be his internet connection, bro?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, we're about to ban you from streaming.
Current situation.
Look at that sweet fiber.
We're about to ban you from all streaming platforms, sir.
This is Hex in the Morning. Hex in the Morning production behind the scenes.
Oh my god.
Don't dox yourself too bad in this, Sam. He's
he shows his like house address.
He's like a family of 5 and like his street sign right there. Sam has no idea about operational security.
So that internet is making marathon.
Look at them flip flops with socks on.
Yeah.
If that ain't dad mode, I don't know.
Is that the router? Is that the no?
The bucket? The bucket's the router?
That's what I thought. It kept going.
Bro, what the?
All right, get that shit off.
All right, if anyone sees that cable,
yo, that was a 5555 walk to that damn junction box.
Again. For the $55, thank you so much, dude. The 5555, that's the perfect number in my book. Jerry, for always supporting me. Thank you so much.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's
guys, thanks for coming on, guys. I mean, I'm probably gonna stay on a bit longer. Anyone wants to stay on, please feel free. I'm gonna be just reading a little bit of chat. And I know everyone has busy lives and is doing stuff. Oh, the RH stream. We can touch on that for a minute. I watched the whole thing. So if anyone didn't,
I didn't get to watch the whole thing. So
yeah, I've only watched like 40 minutes or so.
So he did the Miami.
It's on you, man.
He dropped it low. He went Miami. He went Miami twerk on us and dropped it low.
Okay, that's not valuable.
He did the Nicki Minaj twerk. He did the Nicki Minaj twerk on us. And everything.
That's real?
Yeah, man.
I thought that was a joke.
I'm gonna tag you that one.
I saw it, but I thought that was a joke.
No, man, he did that twerk right on TV on stream, man.
Oh, you want to see it? I'll show you.
He's done it.
I already saw it.
He's done it twice now.
I'm good.
But no, anyway, no. It's funny though. It's funny though because, dude, I know.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Richard, I know it's hilarious. It's so hilarious. Richard, you're hilarious. Richard, I hate to say anything negative about you, but you're hilarious.
He loves to be memed.
You're the man. You love to be memed, but like my mom is struggling to deal with that.
It might be like that.
I'm like, Mom, watch this dude. He's taught me everything I know.
Mom,
like,
this is where all my money is invested.
Right.
They're like, what is this guy doing? And I'm like, he's just acting like one of the guys. And they're like, I don't understand. He's just.
They expect him to act all serious.
He just doesn't care. Like, he's not getting paid to do it, Mom. I just want to tell her, I'm like, he's doing whatever he wants.
Right,
And that's
but
like what I do, right?
they expect them to be all serious though, right?
They expect you, if you're investing in something, they expect the guy to be in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Usually in that age demographic, suit, tie, clean cut.
Oh, that
You know,
care.
well
F
well
them.
spoken, no cursing, no slang. But then you got Richard.
Play
Just
this
different
real
all
breed.
quick.
those weak traits.
Yep.
This is why I love this guy. I'm sorry.
This is what I saw. This is the best, man.
I love our community.
Seriously, man. We got the best. Look
They're
at
awesome.
this shit.
Someone literally took the time out of their day to make this shit. I fucking
Literally,
love
yo.
Hope you guys are ready for the financial revolution, baby.
It's gonna be fun, that's for sure. We're gonna force that thing to be fun.
Yeah, they're not gonna see it coming.
Announcement, guys. They just updated the sacrifice checker. So for those guys,
Oh yeah, that's
who
right.
did not
You guys haven't
test
mentioned
it
that
out,
yet.
just go test it out. They updated it, new date for today, and looks like everything is okay for me. And for me, it's everything.
Mine's
is
dropped a
okay.
little bit, but that's to be expected because they keep adding people.
Yeah, exactly. So looks good.
Or keep adding sacks, excuse me, not people.
More sacks.
More sacks. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to spend some sacrifice dollars on something. Now I'm just used to it, so I'm like working a little extra hard to have like a sacrifice. I have a MetaMask just for sacks now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm done. I'm done doing that for a little while, guys. I'm very skeptical about projects right now. Very, like
Yeah,
very.
look,
Not Maxi. You know, Maxi's a weird example because it's so clear cut. It's like
that's what
it's
I'm
just
trying to
like-
explain. You gotta these projects like here. There's a reason I never talk about projects, right? Maxi was a very unique example and where I could talk about it prior to launch because of what it was or what it is, right? It's literally just hex in liquid form.
Peg to hex, baby.
That's it. It meets the same requirements of a cryptocurrency that we all know and love. Trustless, period. And that's all you can ask for. That's what a cryptocurrency is supposed to be. No admin keys.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't ask for more than that. So as long as the rest of these projects get to that point, they'll be successful just like the rest of them.
And also, people need to stay off that mentality of they want to make money. They want to invest like $100 and just pick the color of the Lambo right away, right? They are just like, oh, okay, let me go on and check which Lambo I want to buy if I invest my $100, and then I see the price going down, and they are crying.
Yeah,
you know,
crazy, man.
We cannot. We
Yeah, it's like
don't
the only guys
tolerate
that
that
aren't
anymore.
crying have like 100 million tied up into it, and they're just like, "Oh, you gotta let it go, do its thing," you know. It's just like,
Exactly.
and then they're like telling you, like, it's so weird because people just type on Twitter. That's all this really is. People just type. There's too much typing going on. Everyone just says something, even if they don't really think it, right? Like, so a lot of guys get wrecked on Hex short term. Even if they know about Hex, they'll still throw a tweet out there just to say "fuck you" because I got wrecked, and then it'll like spin off because everyone will be like, it'll get popularized from retweeting it, and then it's just like, it's just a bunch of dudes talking shit because they got wrecked. That's it, always.
And not only that, people like to listen to people without doing no research, right? So they go on, they listen what people say. Okay, it's a scam. Okay, it's a scam. And then you get the ripple of when you throw a stone in the water, you see the ripple going. And then, you know, it get across a lot of people, and people be like, yeah, it's a scam. And then, yeah, I bought it, but then I sold it because someone told me it's a scam. And then it's not really wrecked. They were scared, you know?
I want to
They were
remind
not-
people that Hex was 2 cents 11 months ago. And that's just a good reminder to remember because you guys are dumb and you can't remember how things were just 1 year ago. What was your Bitcoin doing a year ago? Oh, yeah, tanking for the rest of the year while we did a 6X in the time. So it's just like if you just look at the chart and then just like extrapolate 2 data points, you can be like, oh, I was wrong. But no, you're just going to tweet online about being an idiot.
It's the only thing they have to do. The only thing they can do. They know they're wrong. They know they are not
You could
right,
just buy T-shares and join the club.
but they don't want to do it. It's the ego. Their ego is getting slammed together. It's like they don't know how to fight. So the way of fighting is like ignoring and not doing it. And then after 2 for 5 years, they will come back and say, okay, let me buy it right now. Oh, I owe some hex now, right? And that's the main thing. That's what they are doing. They are not true to themselves, right? They're
Yeah,
not
that's
humble
it
to
right there.
say,
Boom. I think you just hit it right there. They're not true to themselves. Like I know a lot of guys that have a lot of big hex bags that don't come around in the community because they're not true to themselves. And it's true. I think Motley probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. A couple of them. They do have big hex bags and they believe in hex 100%, but they won't put their name behind it because their egos are smashed because they were so wrecked early on by telling people Richard Hart was a scam artist.
yeah, it's true. You can see all around. You go on YouTube and type what was the top 10 Richard Hart, what was it, top 10 Richard Hart meme, and you will find people talking bad, and then you see the backlashes, right? And then they go back and say, yeah, Richard,
Hey, if we can
the
find
project
that
is
one,
very
that
good.
wouldn't be a bad one to run. We love those. I hate to point
Yeah.
fingers though and poke names because people really come at me hard and it's like annoying. It's so much easier just to talk shit because it's like the second you start talking shit, everyone fucking likes the other person. Is like, you're a dickhead, and you're like, oh, whoopsie. I gotta stop talking shit. I was trying. I gotta stop talking shit. I gotta
How many times are you gonna say that?
I gotta stop talking shit, bro. Like because yesterday, like the whole time I talked no shit in the last 10 minutes, I went like bananas and I was like, God damn it. I was like, damn it, I freaking went off again. But it's just the passion that I have because I went through some well, they're not unfortunate. They're more so like just learning steps, in my opinion.
It's a combination of things, right? Too, because like that anger comes from the fact that they've cost people, like there's an opportunity cost for like their lack of research and like foresight, right? So like they cost a lot of people life-changing gains early on, like you were actually included in one of those people. But you also have to balance it out too. Like you have to give yourself responsibility and realize like maybe you didn't put enough effort into it and like you were just relying too heavily on what you thought, as Wales likes to say, you were relying on a Furu's opinion instead of doing your own research and collecting as much information as you could on the source. So it's a combination of things. They do a lot of those people cost a lot of good people a lot of opportunity. Like a lot more people could be where we are today, but they just didn't get it because people called it a scam. But you still have
Or
to
they
take
beat around the bush. Or they
you have
beat
to
around
take
the bush.
responsibility too. Yeah, of course.
They
I
beat
mean,
around
look
the
at
bush like, oh, let's talk about this coin for a month,
look,
and then you forgot.
bro,
You're like, oh, you could have bought T-shares the whole time.
Look at all the people, all the big YouTube crypto guys that have Pulse Chain. Like we know for a fact, Ivan on Tech sacrificed for it, BitBoy sacrificed for it, Sumo Man, like a bunch of these big guys, and they just don't talk about it. They just literally don't talk about it. Like Richard refuses to pay them, and they don't talk about it, right? But like when it comes out, their audience is gonna just have no idea because the people they follow for information just are keeping them in the dark. They're just like fucking mushrooms to them. Just feed them shit, keep them in the dark, and just the moment someone finds Richard Hart over one of the Furus,
Oh,
they
God,
they go to Richard Hart, right? And they know it. They know he's more knowledgeable in the space than they are by like a tenfold. So like why they lose their audience out to someone like Richard because he's just better products, better knowledge. He's just a better teacher. He pretty much beats them in everything they do, and they make their living off not their investments, but off their audience.
And then they
So
leverage.
that's why they
leverage off their shit.
and this is why they keep their audiences in these walled gardens and just continue to feed them shit and keep them in the dark.
That's what I was trying to say. The walled garden. I don't really know that concept verbatim, but I kind of know what you're saying. Like that's what happens is they kind of like take a group and they kind of like scooch them to the corner, and then like
they feed off of them, bro.
Info.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that concept at the time.
Yeah, most people don't because they don't realize. They think that information is freely available, and it's not. They're under this misconception that everything is not censored and everything is in fact censored. So
yes. You posted yesterday, Wills, that link of the list of the influencers that get paid for coins and stuff like that.
That's right.
This is one of the reasons why I was telling somebody I'm going to be one of the biggest South American influencers just to promote Hex, and I'm gonna, scatter all the Google ads. You're gonna see my face all over it with Hex. Why? Because the same way they have been pulling us out of the scene just because they won, I'm gonna put it in their face, right? Because now I have the money. Now I can do whatever I want with it, right? And the main thing is I'm gonna buy some ads, start pushing that thing all in the face of everybody, right? If you don't want like it, screw it. I'm gonna face you with it. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all over the social media. If they block me, they can block me. I will make another account, start doing the same thing over and over again. Why? Because we have been waiting for too long, for too much, right? And we have to do our part, right? Um, like I'll always say, I'm doing my part, right? I want my back to grow. So how do I grow my back? Bringing more people in. Simple. That's it. And the more people gets in, the higher our price goes. Simple. That's a math. That's the main thing around it.
And the more people that you can expose, like Sam Stoll, like, guys like that. That's kind of what I like to do more. I like to find these guys that are really good at breaking down other concepts and introduce them to Hex, because I trust their intellectual ability and open-mindedness enough where I feel like pitching it to them is more like telling someone to start learning on their own, Like
Sam
just
did
learn.
it. Sam did it.
Yes.
And that's one of the proof of that we are moving a certain way in life with our people around us, right? If the media doesn't want to see us, our community, people around us, this is the same thing I'm doing here in my community. Right before I go back to Dominican Republic, I'm going to the library. When they will give me a free stage so I can present Hex. Right, it's for free. So I'm using that part of place to present Hex to people. Right, so a lot of people talks about investment, blah blah blah, but I come here and I say, you know what? You can see the proof. I made this a lot of money. You can do it also. A simple way: just stake it, get your T-shirts, and get paid every month, every day, every year with your staking of your Hex. Simple as that. It's not difficult. We have to put our part. We are doing what we have to do so we can bring Hex to the light of more people. And that's my seeing on it.
Easy. What was that quick tidbit on the sacrifice balance update? What is that? What does that infer? Does that just mean that everyone can check? You're just telling people to check because it's updated and they can check their accurate rate?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically what he's saying, Ross Hex, is if you check your sacrifice balance now, it will be the correct number rather than before it could have been off.
Exactly. Because a lot of people doesn't go to check their balance, right? So, and then they come back and they see, oh, I still have this amount, but did you check your balance now? The new update? Check is right. If you miss one, just go report it, go back, report the missing balance, and then send it back so the developer can work faster so we can get our head launch.
Bro, look at this awful advice. I was just kind of like scrolling through Twitter and looked like this dumb fucking advice I just came across. My God. Yeah. And this is people like in the space. See if you can pull that up. So fucking Wendy O over here. You shouldn't hold any crypto for a long period of time unless it's a moon bag. Bruh. What? That shows you how much shit she's fucking peddling. Like, god damn.
Is she an Mexican?
Nah, she's a wrecked one. I have her wallet. I've been investigating her wallet all over. She have like what? Not even $900, and people are giving advice on how to invest in crypto.
She gets paid in fiat. She don't get paid.
That's the main thing.
She's very new to crypto. She actually came on Discord Syndicate with RG3 back in the day, but yeah, man, it's just you just really have to be careful where you get your information, right? Like.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like that's how.
I love when people like screenshot. I love when people like screenshot, their staker app, and then boom, like
6.42 years, almost $7.5 billion. Yeah, okay.
You're
Oh,
wrong by
somebody-
7.5 billion
Wait, somebody
votes.
posted her shit.
No,
Nah.
someone was using the stake graph
Oh,
as
yeah,
an
yeah,
example.
yeah,
They were
just
just
to
showing
say,
her it's
like,
just
you're
like
dumb as shit.
6.4 years, almost $8 billion is locked up. Like, yeah, just very, very bad advice. Very bad
Guys,
advice.
I need some advice. I have a 10-year stake of HEX. Also, I have a lot of liquid HEX. What's the best play for the fork coming? I'll answer that real quick, and then everyone can answer. Obviously, just my opinion really quick is that if you are comfortable with the position you're in financially, you might have kids, you might have 3 houses, you might have no houses, you might need $500 a month to live, you might need 10 grand a month to live. If you are going to put yourself under stress financially, you should not inject it into the system, in my opinion. But as far as the stuff you already have, I think there's a lot of variables to that question, right? Nobody knows what the price action of these things is going to be on the other side. But at a minimum, you're going to get a fork of your T shares, which is the most important part to me personally. So I would say if you're comfortable with your T share position and you have a comfortable amount of HEX, I don't think leaving it alone is a bad idea. Having some movability on the other side is never a bad idea, in my opinion, but it all depends. Low overhead, bills are paid. This is pure investment. Okay, that's it. That helps.
Well, and that's the thing is you're still missing too much information, right? Like I don't know how much your hex is in your stake. I don't know what you consider a lot of hex to be. Like this is all individual stuff, right? And it's all easily solved by you just knowing the product that you hold. When you know it in and out, and you can sit here like whales and you can describe every asset of it and like explain T shares to a T, and you can explain a staking ladder, and you can explain how to maximize your gains, and you actually know the product, you don't have to ask those questions, and they're personal questions. So I would say it's like you need to go back and probably do a little bit more research on what you actually hold, and then you'll be able to come to what works best for you, right? Like what works best for me, very different from what works best from you, someone who's completely new. Again, I don't know when you got in, so like it all comes down to you. You can take information from us. We can give you advice, but like I don't know how much hex you have staked. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars you make every year. I don't know how much a lot of liquid hex is to you. But if you know what hex
know
is,
if you're 85 years old.
If you know what hex is, if you understand how T-shares work, if you understand this fork coming up of Ethereum, of a pulse chain, of you getting a copy, if you understand if you have pulse chain sacrifice for or not, pulse X sacrifice for or not, like these are all things that are on you, right? Like you can't just default this kind of stuff to other people. This is where people get in trouble because they rely too heavily on someone else. So you got to take the time, you got to understand the ecosystem, and you'll be able to construct your own game theory and like what you think is going to work best for you once you're more knowledgeable on the subject. Because we can't make those calls for you. Just
that's
can't.
The best answer possible. That's the optimal answer. Like unless you know intimately enough about the product, you won't be able to understand the nuance anyway. So you better just get learning. It's good that you have stuff in the system, and I'm here. I'm live every single day. You can ask a question on here. You can go over to Molly, whatever. Everyone's got shit. The Twitter Spaces, the Telegram Whales channel. I mean, all day long, 100% customer service, literally in HEX, 100%. Like, I don't know if I would ever turn down a DM that was a serious question. If it was a literal serious question, I don't know if I would ever turn it down. Now, it turns out 90% of the questions are the dumb as shit, and I don't answer them. But you know what I mean? Like, if there's a legit question that it's open-ended and just looking for some insight, oh my God, there's no reason not to answer that. Everyone in the community is like that because
Dude,
they
I
know
wrote a guy a paragraph like this, like a page, just answering all his questions. But like, I mean, he asked sincere questions, but at the same time, it's just like I could advise him on like what I would do. But again, he's got to recalibrate and figure out what works for him because I'm not in his situation.
Yes, exactly. That's the main thing. First, you need to know what do you have, what you achieve to lose, right? What do you want to lose money or blah blah blah? Do you have some pulse X? Do you have some pulse chain? Right? Do you have some hex? So you don't need nothing else. That's the 3 things, in my opinion. Looking it from outside, from inside of hex community. But if I'm from the outside of community, Wales only knows already. So the main thing is you need to know what you have in your hand and what you want to invest. And at this time, the market is very, 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 but very peligroso. Is
dangerous.
Dangerous. right? So it's not like you're gonna go and put money in this and think you're gonna make a money fast. Nah, it's not gonna work like that. Just hold your money. The market is down. Wait until the next cycle, and then enjoy, man. Enjoy the ride. Be patient. People want to make money fast, but it doesn't work like that. You have to be patient. Patient is the key, man. That's the main source of everything. People don't have patience. They
It's
want to
more
make money fast.
relaxing. It's more relaxing anyway, dude. It's so much more relaxing. You can work on whatever work. You know, everyone has to work on their work, whatever work that is. But god damn it, I don't have to stare at charts or do any bullshit or gamble or God, I used to gamble so much, and it's just like my life was so stressed out and I had no idea about mental health and I was gambling 24/7. I mean, I was a great gambler, to be honest, like, but I was studying 8 hours a day. Everyone in my family didn't want to talk to me anymore. My girlfriend left me. I was a freaking mess. And it was I was just looking for something, right? And then I realized when I found HEX, everything, video games gone, everything gone, not a chance, would never even turn it on, because it's just like I found something that's worth my time, finally. To me, worth my time to me.
But that's how it works, right? I mean, it's about what priorities you set, and that's how you determine what you can define as success or not, right? Like if you're not aligning your existence with your priorities, you're not gonna find success. Pretty
Exactly.
simple. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
That's true. That's a true story.
Mm-hmm. It just
So
sets
people
the
need to be aware of what they're gonna do with their money. Just hold and be relaxed.
yeah.
Just chill out, man.
I spent a long time trying to become not just rich but wealthy, but I didn't realize that. And I had the frame of mind for it, but I wasn't aligning my actions with that thought process. So because I wasn't doing that, I wasn't finding the success that I was looking for, because my actions were just conflicting always. You know, I'm here playing the short game, but yet I'm thinking long term. It's automatically going to lead to failure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I found.
I'm gonna drop I have these are really ending up being long, but I like clipping them out, and Bullish is helping me clip stuff, and I have a clips channel. I'm gonna post it to the bottom because let's be honest, these are very long, and I would never listen to a full one unless it was like completely organized.
Some people like to use it for like work and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
Like
yeah, for sure. That's why I do
like,
it at this time of the day. People love to sit there while they're working. That's how I learned HEX. I learned HEX from working my day job and listening to Motley and all of you guys while I was working. And I know the value of that. And that's why I want to be here like during the mature work hours too, so people can get their juice while pulse chain's coming out and they're still working, because I know that's most people's life, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
It's like for me, it's the same thing.
forever.
For me, it's the same thing. When I have to clean, do something at home, you know, I just drop on, put the Will's Only's video or Richard Hart video, you know, and then like make a whole playlist, right? Make a playlist, and then pop, play all the whole thing together. I will be cleaning my house, my home, my bathroom, everything, and then the kids are not home, so I can do it, you know. So that's the main thing.
Like that's why I don't get a lot of views. Them damn kids.
It's always the damn kids.
Always the
kids. We love them though. We love them.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That's why we do what we do.
So yes, guys, right there's the link to my Clips channel. It has like 50 subs. I just started it up. It's cool to have the Clips channel too, because then you can kind of just have that running on YouTube and it's not really your channel, and then people that can find you that way and stuff. But anyway, it's just I'm just trying to do this like the best way I know how, and that seems like a good. I see other guys that are successful do that, so I'm trying to do that. So anyway, guys, this has been one of the most amazing episodes. You know, we made sure Wendy's didn't die, and we talked about T-shares all in the same moment. 2022 technology is what's up. But guys, anyway, if you haven't subscribed, liked, done all that stuff, do all that stuff. Motley, Crypto Profeta, Whales Only, as always, thank you so much. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Anything you'd want to pitch out there? Anything you have been working on or whatever that you'd like to talk about? Doesn't matter what it is.
Go check my YouTube for all the Latino American people. Subscribe to my channel. Check me out on Twitter.
We'll drop your channel in the bottom too.
We'll drop your channel at the bottom. So yeah, I have free courses on helping people how to know about crypto and about HEX also. So everything for free, giving out everything we have, and we are giving away every month. We are giving approximately $500 in my Telegram group for free.
Wow,
So,
awesome.
so
Wales,
if you
any
come in
last
my
word?
group, you can win that $500.
Yes, sir. Hey, $500 is $500. You stake that out, and you're doing pretty good, in my opinion.
That's right. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
whole lot of dollars at the end of that ride. Shoot.
What about you, Wales? Anything you're doing?
Well, we're working in the background, as you guys know. Be ready, because things are gonna start moving fast.
Hell's yes, brother, to that. That makes me have goosebumps a little bit. And I appreciate everything you guys do for the community, the Latino community. Wales deals in that community as well. I see him in some of those streams while I'm trying to learn Spanish. Because that is also a good way to learn Spanish.
That is
if
a good way
anyone
to
didn't
learn
know.
Spanish,
You just watch streams for like 2 or 3 hours, and you can kind of catch some nuance in between some conversation, and you start to catch a couple things,
That's
and
right.
you can move from there. And that's kind of because I plan on leaving the United States of America because I don't like it here, and I don't like where it's headed. And it's
Oh,
just
don't
my
worry,
opinion.
man. We working
Of
on that.
Americo from
We're
America.
working on that. This is what
I
I'm
got
trying to tell
another
you
day.
guys.
I'll do
We're
another
working on
decade
that.
here, though. I'll do another decade if I have to. Like, I'll protect.
Yeah, we're working on that, bro.
culture.
Ain't nowhere to go. You guys got to realize that there's nowhere to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing, of course, for all those Dutch people out there, also, we having a channel coming up for the Dutch people. So if you're watching this stream, I'm also be there, opening a new channel for Dutch people and for the Papiamento people that speak Papiamento, also. So we're trying to do everything we can.
You're the man, dude. Thank you so much for doing that. Always language barriers and stuff like that when other people are spreading their wings, helping out as many people as they can. Because clearly there's more numbers with certain languages, but they're starting to grow everywhere. So this is amazing. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. It's Crypto in the Morning. We're going to be covering Pulse Chain every single day as it drops. And in the meantime, we're going to be trying to like just keep everyone in the loop and not be bored as shit because it's really boring as shit sometimes. All righty, guys. Have a great day.